my groin. She blowing my they lyrics are calm. I'm getting this money, it never get born.
It's your boy Crypto Blood, off the chain, special edition. Let me put my phone on mute here. What's going on, people? Hope everyone's doing well tonight. I don't even know how long this is going to last, to be honest with you. We're just going to kick it. I think the actual debate starts at 9, I believe. I don't know. We'll see, but we are going to get it cracking. All right, people, so we'll get started here in a second. The number is in the description of this video if you want to call in and talk before we get started. 9 o'clock is the time. It is starting, so we'll just kick it until then. Chat a little crypto. I didn't do it off the not off the chain, but a My Two Satoshis video today, so maybe we can talk a little crypto prior to, or politics. Doesn't matter to me. Hey, some people are scared to talk politics. I'm not. I'm open-minded, and you know, I respect everyone's opinion or view. I may not agree with you, but I respect it. We'll start here in a second. Holla! Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. I'm old school, Beretta, I on the sparrow. I told you, make moves, nigga, stack the dinero. Make the world go round. Shout out to my man Mark, Mexican Charlie Lee. I'm a prince of digital circuitry to circulate this currency. No, they did not, man. Get on them, man. Mexican Charlie Lee, get on Hooli Savage. They need to release that remix. Big O in the house, JoJo Wave, what's going on? Yeah, right. Big O said, let the market volatility begin. I've got a whole theory on how this is going down. I think this is going to be one of the most contentious, maybe debates, but presidential elections, and even after the election, it's going to be horrible. It's going to be so horrible, and maybe a turning point for America. I'm going to be honest with you, because it doesn't matter. Either side, it doesn't matter. Who wins, who loses, it's just going to be a shit show. So I got a lot to talk about on that topic, so we'll get into it. Mark, what's going on, brother? Thanks for joining tonight. John Hill, what's good? Default in the house. Look a shot for him. Oh man, so yeah, we're gonna get started. I'm actually just trying to link up this. As you guys can see, I need to get the chat going on the screen. Let's see. Not sure why it's not linking up here. Bummer. Let's see if that works. There we go. There we go. 22 Cool Cat. It's been a while, man. Haven't seen you in a while. Yes, interesting times, man. Interesting times, and I'm telling you, I'm a little concerned about this country. I'm a little concerned about this country and the direction we're going. On many fronts, man. I mean, from China trying to really infiltrate us, and the whole coronavirus, Wuhan, China virus, whatever you want to call it. You know, that the way we handled it was not the best at all. It was not the best. But I think, you know, we got a lot to deal with here in America, from politics to geopolitical issues, financial. You know, we can talk about that tonight. Definitely some issues there in our financial monetary system. It's collapsing. I know we've been saying that. I've been hearing it for over 10 years, since 08. And you know, they did some pretty unprecedented things to prop up the market and get it back to where it is. So I'm gonna try to keep it non-partisan tonight. I'm gonna try to keep it, you know, straight down the middle as much as possible, and let you guys kind of breathe and just talk about and express your feelings about both sides. I'll give my opinions, but I won't go in too hard tonight. We're just gonna relax and watch the show. Let's see what we got on the call already. Let's see. Let me see if I can get them to unmute. Caller, go ahead and unmute. There we go. Who's calling in tonight? Off the Chain, episode 45, 6, something? I don't know. Who's calling in?
46. 46. What's going on? It's Bit Native.
Bit Native, what's going? Let me get a round of applause for this brother right here. What's going on, man?
Hey, nothing much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, tell me what's on your mind tonight. You watching the debate or what?
It's a debate if I'm gonna watch the debate, man, because it's like you said, it's gonna be some ish. That's for sure.
Man, this is gonna be a hot mess. I think Trump is gonna just pulverize. He's gonna smack this guy Joe Biden. Like, it's not even gonna be a competition to me. Just because I think Biden literally is mentally unable to run, man. I think he literally has dementia. You know, so
he makes me nervous. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and I heard just yesterday that he had been canceling a lot of his appearances, blaming it on the COVID and social distancing. But, you know, someone with rebuttal was like, well, you have a private plane. You can fly in and, you know, do your thing, be up on stage, wear your mask, and handle business, right? But I don't know what's going on with him, man, to be honest with you.
Man, I think he was preparing. I think they just flew in Tony Robinson and Gary Vee and everybody else to get him ready.
The problem,
they gotta get this fool
but Bit Native, the problem is he won't remember none of it. You can prepare him, but he won't remember it.
You're probably right on that.
He gonna go through one. He's gonna have one of them conniptions in the middle of his pre-recorded or pre-scripted answer, and he's just gonna go off. Man, it's gonna look bad, man. I'm telling you. Who do you have winning tonight?
That's my fear. Say that again.
Who do you have winning tonight?
I can't see Sleepy Joe getting this, man. I just can't. I can't, man. I don't even know why he even agreed to it. Because he knew he wasn't going to win.
I know, but he has to, man. He has to. It's going to be interesting because people hate. Here's the thing. I understand people's hate or hatred for Trump because he's not. I always say this. Trump is not he's our president, but he's not presidential.
Yes.
So people are putting Trump in a presidential box or light, and we can't do that, man. Not with him, man. He's a reality show, real estate tycoon. That's up for debate. Type of character who's narcissistic, but he knows how to get business deals done, and he knows how to play hardball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the unfortunate. That's the unfortunate side effect of getting things done in business is you got to be cutthroat quite often.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Absolutely. So what are your thoughts on the crypto markets, man? We've seen a hit in the crypto altcoins, or at least a lot of the DeFis. I know a lot of my DeFi portfolio is down right now. What's your thoughts on Bitcoin, cryptos, and where we're going post, pre-debates, pre-presidential elections, and after? Kind of give me your thoughts.
I think the Fed has, I guess, more impact on what's going to happen with the crypto. People are going to use Bitcoin to hedge against this inflation that keeps popping up. But I try to squelch it a little bit, man, because it's just too much. It's just too much. I was watching you, and there was this weekend, and we were talking about the hack on KuCoin and everything, and man, it just, I don't know. It starts to get on your nerves after a while. It's like, oh, here we go again. Another exchange getting hacked. But I just keep my investments, try to invest smart, stay away from the scams. And it seems like the greed continues to grow more than the people that are really interested and trying to get ahead in the space. Because it's getting a little ridiculous.
Expound on that. Help me under, because I like what you said, but I want to make sure that the audience understands that. So you're saying that the greed is expanding faster than what now?
Than the people that are, yeah. So the people that are really interested in crypto, that are trying to do something better for themselves, those people are kind of trickling in, but it's hard to get them in because of the distrust, you know. And the people that are greedy, they don't care. They're trying to take advantage of that. So there's more of them coming in, especially with the DeFi now. I was just looking at some of the information just today. I mean, if you throw a smart contract on the blockchain, if you just make it look right, people will start jumping in. I think that's actually what happened. Yeah, and it's kind of ridiculous that people are that thirsty that they just go after everything from, you know, dirty pineapple to sushi to anything. And the end result is it gives kind of the space a black eye, man.
Yeah. So John Hill says that this KuCoin situation hack was an inside job. I have to agree. I think it was an inside job. Just did you kind of hear some of the details?
No, I didn't hear a lot of the details. Like I said, I try to squelch it out because, you know, you got the background in tech. So, you know, eventually people are going to get hacked some way, somehow, especially when there's money involved or you're a financial institution. Because you're the prime target, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And some of these exchanges, they have, you know, questionable policies, questionable security, questionable employees. So it's just inevitable the way I see it. I mean, Facebook gets hacked, you know, everybody gets hacked, man. It's just a matter of time. So it kind of comes with the territory of being in that space of technology and having stuff online 24/7, especially money.
The attack vectors are endless. They're endless. Until more of the like network functionality and stuff becomes all run through like a smart contract, and that smart contract is coded well, it's been audited, so on and so forth, then I think we will get to a point where we don't have hacks like we do in these centralized exchanges. That's why I tell people, not your keys, not your Bitcoin. If you're gonna,
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, if you're gonna be on an exchange, and I go on exchanges, I trade my algo on exchanges. I trade some of the coins that are not accessible really that great through dexes right now. I have to go get over on the exchange. But after I'm done, man, I take my funds off and get out of there. You know.
Yeah, that's the guidance that smart people use when dealing with crypto, right? But that's an interesting point, and I'm glad you said that because the little that I do know about it, my understanding is they kind of started by getting in with moving out some Ocean coin, I believe it was.
Right, Ocean OpenSea blocked it, right?
Yeah, now that's the interesting part, right? So what do you do when you're supposed to have that decentralization and you know the devs can do whatever they want to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one of the reasons why I sat back, and lately that's what I've been looking at is the development side. And I'm telling you, these smart contracts, you know, you say not your keys, not your crypto. Well, that applies just period. If you're the dev and you have that control to change it, well, you've got the power, really.
Right. So that's why we have to make sure that when you're looking into various projects and stuff, right, we got to make sure there's a multi-sig on the smart contract too.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, so that
Yep.
more than one person would have to sign a particular action on that smart contract to update it or whatnot. So
It comes down to trust. It comes down to trusting.
At some point, you got to have
that,
some layer of trust. It's just about trying to spread it out, right? Try to mitigate the risk by having more decentralized individuals as authorizers, right? I think, and you know, we're getting there. We're early. I think we'll get there. So, real quick, Hollow Red, thanks for the subscription. We got Mr. Lodak, thanks for subscribing. Lewis99 Abel, thanks for subscribing. Sir Crypto, thanks for subscribing. I thought you were already subscribed, Sir Crypto, but shout out to those that just subscribed. Real quick, I want to get your thoughts on this. LaFlame said, CB, I love you, but you're wasting your time with this crypto shit. Stocks are the way to go, bro. ARB investing, catching trends, catching early trends and become rich. What are your thoughts about what LaFlame said? I like hearing contrarian viewpoints. What's your thoughts on?
Now, what did he?
He thinks that we're wasting our time in crypto and that the stock market is the way to go.
Man, I'm looking at both.
Come on.
At both.
Come on. Why, right, yeah. LaFlame. Why can't we be in both, LaFlame?
Yes, sir. Who's leaving money on the table is my question.
Yeah, and the thing is, LaFlame, you know, crypto is more than just, even if you're not interested for whatever reason in Bitcoin, there are other avenues for you to get your feet wet in crypto for a huge amount of returns, i.e. the DeFi world, NFTs, just even the fact that in the future, LaFlame, a lot of you're going to see the stock market be tokenized. So, and really that's the wave, because right now you got so much rehypothecation of even stocks, not only precious metals, but stocks are so rehypothecated that you really don't even, you own the same share that 3 other people own. That's how crazy it is.
Yeah.
So
leverage.
Yep. At some point, stocks will be tokenized, and they will be cryptos as well. You'll be able to spend your crypto, your stocks at a store, or just like any other in NFT. Basically, it would be an NFT. So you got to think broader than just Bitcoin, my dude. Let's see who else we got here, man. What else is on your mind, man, for tonight?
That was a good point, though, too, because, you know, one of the things that coming in the crypto space forced me to do is to learn about money and cash flow and about the stock market and options and real estate. And it forced me to sit down and do that. And if you're in this crypto space, you know, year after year, and that's all you're looking at is crypto, and you're not learning about anything else, you're doing yourself injustice because there's some overlap. Learning how to trade overlaps with stocks.
Absolutely.
And crypto is technology, so that's like one of the hottest sectors anyway, is technology. I made some good returns in NVIDIA, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sure.
NVIDIA's
but
good.
Guess what? Guess what NVIDIA was? A proxy to crypto. You know, it made a huge run up when crypto got really hot in 2016 with the mining. I don't know when you got into NVIDIA.
It was at the beginning of 2017.
Okay. Yep. So that's right in the heat of it, in the thick of it.
Yep.
So it
I mined for a little while too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mined for a little while.
What made you stop?
The heat.
Shout out to all my miners out there. That's so funny, bro. When I used to mine, the heat, I didn't have to use heat in my house in the winter. It literally warmed my whole crib up. So that's hilarious. I remember those days. And then I had him.
Yeah.
It got so bad. Wife was complaining. Had to move him to my office. So I had it in my office, and had that thing just smoking, man. Had to keep the windows open and everything. So I remember those days.
Yeah, I'm down in the South, man. It never gets really cool.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's always hot when you're mining. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
and that and electricity stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Now,
everyone.
I did want to
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I did want to reach out and give you a shout out, man, and tell you, appreciate what you're doing in the space. And I saw you with Kenzie, and I think I put in the comments that you guys keep it real and everything. And man, he kind of worried me with his comment. I guess somebody gave him a recommendation to forget about integrity. But man, you shouldn't sell it.
It was who was it? My man Ken Bozak said that.
I don't know. He said somebody told him screw your integrity, and I'm like, no, man, no.
Yeah, I think
that's the only thing.
I think Ken Bozak told him that, but I don't think Ken meant it that way, because Ken is a very Ken's got a lot of integrity. Ken Bozak.
Yeah, man.
So it's interesting that he said that. Maybe it was out of context or something. I don't know. But yeah, you got to keep your integrity.
Was it Ken Bozak's show before yours or after yours?
After. When
so it had to be before.
Wait, you're talking about when I was on what's my man Crypto Kinsey site, Crypto and Culture?
Yes.
Yeah, it was after. It was after. Ken was on after, and I watched it. I don't know if you caught that one the other night, their live stream, and I think they talked about.
No, I didn't catch it.
Yeah,
but,
man. So
yeah, like I said, you keep the integrity, man, and you always do both sides. So I appreciate that as well.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to keep it down the line tonight. I lean more conservative myself, man, but I'm gonna let the people talk. And one thing this is gonna be hilarious. That's all I gotta say. I hope y'all got your popcorn out. I'm telling you, Trump is about to ether this guy Biden. I'm just letting y'all know. If you don't know what ether is, go check out Nas versus Jay-Z, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But thanks for calling in, Bit Native. Talk to you soon, man.
All right, man. You take it easy, bud.
All right, man. Yeah, people. One thing I see in the chat room, I forgot. It scrolled past, so I didn't see who said this. But this is so true. So dig this. They're saying that Joe Biden was trying to have a hearing device so that they can speak to him and keep him on track tonight. I don't know if that's true. I do know it's true that he needs one. But I don't know if he's going to be able to have if that was even his plan or not. So that's interesting. I hope he's not able to have that, because we need to see him in the raw, like out here with his conscious mind or not. And so people can start to make their own assessment of things. But unfortunately, this country is so divided. People hate Trump so much. They rather have a gentleman with dementia leading the country than a guy that is narcissistic and, like I said, non-presidential. But in my opinion, he got things done over the last 4 years, with the exception this COVID thing. Absolute, he gets an F in my book for the COVID. How Trump handled COVID, horrible, absolutely horrible. So we'll see what happens. Let's see who else is talking in the chat rooms tonight. We got BitSource AML Solutions. What's good, brother? Thanks for coming in out of Ohio. Who else we got, guys? Skynet, Script Skynet. What's going on, brother? He said Fox had chats working and it was overcasted by Trump supporters. Now all of them have taken over live chat for their agenda. Okay, well, Fox is right-leaning, isn't it? That's about the only conservative outlet we got. Shout out to my man 10 Pound. He's in the building tonight. Shout out to him. Wire Sparks in the building. What's going on, brother? He said tokenization is the future. What Spencer DeWindy, I don't know who that is, was trying to do with the NBA contract is ahead of the time. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, man. I remember that basketball player was looking to tokenize his, I guess, his contract. And that was definitely ahead of his time. I don't know how much traction he got from that, though. So, don't know how much support and traction he actually got from that. But, yeah, definitely ahead of his time. Let's get 10 Pound in here really quickly. Let's see. Give us a second, guys. Get 10 Pound in this joint.
Yo, what's good?
What's going on, 10 Pound?
Oh, man. To be honest with you, I was just tuning in, working out, listening to that last conversation. And you made a serious point about the hypothecation of stocks, how like one person can hold three. I never thought of that, bro. That's insane.
It's facts.
Yeah.
That's going on. So they think that it's because I think it's the DCT is the agency that's over stocks. So back in the day when you bought a stock, bro, they literally you would buy a stock and they would mail you the certificate. It was a certificate you got, certificate of stock ownership. Man, with the high frequency trading, it's no way there's no settlement now at the end of the day. So you've got all these different brokerage houses taking in money for stocks, and then it's not really going into the market. It's just kind of traded internally, almost like we have with Binance, and you know how what's the Hit BTC? They're known for that. Trading your crypto, and it's basically an IOU. That's what we have with the unfortunately with the equities game, bro. It's crazy.
Bro, I never even realized it. It's that corrupt, man. Like the system is rotten to the core. That's crazy. Bro. Oh my goodness, man. That's kind of scary. And now I know for a fact that NFTs are the future. Holy shit.
Exactly. NFTs are gonna replace stocks, man. I mean, I don't know how it's gonna happen, because I don't see them just relinquishing their power, i.e. Wall Street. I'm talking about Wall Street, right? I don't see Wall Street relinquishing that power. So I don't know how it's going to happen, what's going to force that. But stocks need to be NFTs, non-fungible asset tokens.
Yeah, for sure. Otherwise, like, it's going to get real sloppy, because, like, you know how retail investors are right now, bro. They're all piling into these shares, and they don't even know that they don't actually own like their own share. Like they're sharing shares between split pools pretty much. It's like one giant liquidity pool, and like one person owns like 3-4 tokens. Really, like if you think about it, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. So
yeah, man, what do you think about tonight's debate? I'm gonna cue it up here. I thought it came on at like 8, and I was starting to stream at like 8:15 to give us a little time for people to check it out, but I guess not. It starts at 9 o'clock tonight Eastern Standard Time. What's your thoughts about the debate?
I think Biden's going to come out fucking like on straight up Adderall, like on some sort of upper. And I think Trump is probably going to do some cocaine beforehand.
Come on, dog. Trump is going to be on Addy. Listen, Trump's going to be on Addy and pop. He's going to pop Biden one. Like, you need to take this, Biden. They're both going to be on Addies tonight.
Yeah, for the most part. And I think Biden's still going to stumble over himself. He's still going to make himself look like a fool, like he's been doing for the past couple of weeks now.
Come on, man.
Like, bro, man.
This is what I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. I just don't understand how the Democrats who aren't in the DNC, because the DNC is its own kind of machine, corrupt machine, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
How voting Democrats allowed this, bro? Like, Joe Biden? Really? You're gonna, of all the qualified candidates you got out there on the Democratic side, you pick Joe Biden.
Come on, man. They pretty much wanted Pete Buttigieg, right? I'm pretty sure that's what the real like moon mission
So
was for the Democratic
so
establishment.
what happened? Why didn't Pete get in there?
Because Obama made some calls to fuck over Bernie Sanders, and at the end of the day, like the elderly voters were leaning towards Biden. You know, like that's ultimately how it came down. Like, and the entire system came down on Bernie Sanders. Pretty much everybody dropped out the last minute and endorsed Biden because Biden had the strongest lead. Buttigieg was dwindling. He wasn't actually like
Nigga said
supported with the
Buttigieg.
base. Yeah, yeah, bro.
Let me look at shop for Buttigieg, man. Buttigieg. I remember when Trump used to say his name. He'd say, Buttigieg. It's Jeff Buttigieg. Yeah. I think it was an element of the whole gay thing, the homosexual thing.
Yeah,
Man, they, I don't know if America's ready for that.
Probably
You know
not.
what I'm saying? I don't
They
know.
want first man, they want a first lady in there, bro.
Yeah, it's gotta be a lady first, and I thought that what's the hot looking lady from Hawaii?
Oh yeah, I love her too. Tulsi Gabbard, man. She's
Gabbard.
broken, man. Like, damn, man, Tulsi Gabbard, yo, she was the only anti-war candidate that actually got on primetime television, UK television, and actually was speaking truth to power in front of Meghan McCain, yo. Like, that chick had balls, bro.
See, the thing is, I would like if I were to vote Democrat ticket, it would have been her.
Facts, me too.
She's the one that went on Fox. She wasn't scared to go over to the op side. She was on Fox News. She was doing interviews everywhere. That's what you gotta have, bro. Someone who's willing to be open-minded enough to even just go on another channel's, another network that's not Democratic.
Big facts. You're right. Absolutely. You got to be bipartisan. You
gotta be bipartisan.
And you got to reach out to the people that are hurting from the mistakes of the military-industrial complex and from social unrest. You gotta talk to both sides right now, and that's what she was doing, bro. Like she was making.
John Hill said Tulsa is the female Noam Chomsky.
Yeah, yeah. Noam Chomsky's a G though. Honestly.
Oh yeah, I like Noam Chomsky.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm up on him. I watched a lot of YouTube videos of him.
Yo.
Very good guy. I got my man Script in the house. What's going on, Script?
What's up, man? Best channel in the world.
Oh man, I appreciate it.
Big facts.
What's the word, bro? What's going down for tonight? I know you don't like Trump. I know you kind of lean more Democratic. What is your take on?
Who, me? No. I'd rather not get into it. But if I
come on, man, you calling up crypto CBTV? We're gonna keep it real, bro.
No, it's Trump, man. I mean, it's Trump. Come on, man. I mean, if there's a third guy, I'm sure, he's not in the limelight at all. So
who, Brock Pierce?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to have Brock on, actually. I'm funny I mentioned
but
that.
10 Pound, he was what's up, 10 Pound? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. What about you?
I'm just hanging in there, man, with my investments,
What are you investing in right now, crypto wise?
I actually have a lot of Digibyte, as you guys know, but yeah. I also have I just got on the Neo train 3 months ago. Got some good profits that way. They're in DeFi as well with Flamingo or whatever, but they're a little behind, but I think they're going to make a good product.
Bro,
I'm also into quite a few others that just like ICO or Icon. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. What made Digibyte pop like last week? It was up like 35%.
I'll tell you what it was. It was the hype of Brace for Impact. Rudy Bauman came up with a tweet that said that he was talking to a top IT tech firm, a leader there, and was going to give further another tweet for the next week. And he basically said brace for impact because it's almost like a for sure thing. They're ironing it out. It's basically what the EU Commission So like United Nations and stuff like that, for the whole world to use DigiByte technology.
You really see that coming?
Well, the only thing that kind of disappointed me was the news didn't come out. They just held their silence.
Damn, bro. They
extend and pretend. Okay, learning from the politicians. All right.
That's what they
extend and pretend.
I was disappointed, but you never know, man. But that was the reason, man. Influencers have power.
They left you hanging, bro. That's not good.
Yeah.
I did a video.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The reason why I don't believe that, I love DigiByte. I don't believe any entity like the UN, IMF, what is it, BIS, Bank of International Settlement. They're never gonna use any type of open source platform. They're gonna use something proprietary, in my opinion. I don't ever see them using something that's kind of like the people own.
Yeah, pretty much what I was about to say. That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, honestly, though, with DigiByte, bro, so powerful. It's like I'd say one of the world's most adopted chains right now. And they got actual usage going on, like paying their bills, like paying for their housing. And, dude, like, DigiByte's a power player right now. It's a sleeping giant, though, on price action, but it's a power player. Can I be real with y'all, man? Right now, I'm in a stable coin called USP. Man, I hope I don't get wrecked. I really hope I don't get wrecked.
Why are you in a stable? How are you in a stable coin speculating in a stable coin? Stable's supposed to be $1.
No, because, dude, the bonus, man, the pre-sale bonus was too good, bro. Believe me when I say that this project said that if I gave them 1 ETH, they would give me $1,000 in a stable coin. Bro.
Oh, that one?
Yeah, man.
Oh, I'm in that one too.
Yeah, bro. Believe me when I say that.
I'm in that one too. But you didn't pay for it, bro. You just signed up. You put your, Ether.
I got it in the pre-sale, bro. They got a pre-sale allocation for it, so they give you another bonus on top of that bonus, bro.
Oh, no, I'm not going that far. I just did the free $1,000 airdrop that's supposed to come October 30th or something, I heard. I don't know. Someone sent it to me. And shout out to my man, I think Puppet Master, a.k.a. Default, John Hill. He dropped that in the webbot, the Telegram room, the private Telegram room I run. And I was just like, all right, it's the $1,000, whatever. I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude. So
that's interesting.
I
didn't put no money up, man. What do you think is gonna happen with that?
Man, I'm hoping for the best, bro. Because like they're just saying it's a stable coin. It's only gonna be 100 million, right? 100 million, period. So I'm like, why not, bro? So
I don't get the point of airdropping a stable coin for them.
I know, right? That's what I want to know. Like, why would they do that?
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
I think they want users. They want real users to compete with DAI and all these other stable coins, man. Like, instead of just minting it out, like Phantom's doing. Phantom's just minting. So,
let's get this other caller real quick, 10 Pound.
Right.
Let's see who's calling in. Call on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood, off the chain. What's going on? Who's calling in?
Man, it's Default, man.
Default in the building. Let's give him a clap. Default always get me into some trouble, ladies and gentlemen. He's always getting me into some trouble. What's up?
You're not voting for Biden, right?
No.
Then you're not black.
Oh, right. You're right.
Remember? You're not black if you're not voting for Biden.
He said, man, look here, man. You speaking jive turkey, man. You ain't black if you don't vote for Biden. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Right,
yeah,
bro.
That was crazy. But I was saying that Tulsi she's Noam Chomsky, whatever, the female Noam Chomsky, because she's boring, man. She's not appealing.
Oh, you weren't giving her a compliment.
Nah, not at all.
Oh my God! I thought you were giving Tulsi Gabbard a compliment, bro.
Man,
She's
Nah,
boring.
never.
bro, you
Hey, but she's
She's
good
boring,
on the
man.
eyes. What I mean, do you need to listen to her? You just look at her.
Nah, she need more than that, man. For me, she
serious?
nah.
Yo, hey, Default, bro, you serious about this too, bro? Like, what was wrong with her platform? What was wrong with the way she spoke and how she carried herself, man?
Yeah, I don't
She was-
understand.
She was too monotone. She's not like she doesn't appeal to people, and she's very scripted. She's very robotic, so that doesn't translate to people. Like, people don't gravitate towards her. Like, she's a perfect candidate if you can build her up. Like, she has a machine behind her, but as an individual, like, you could tell like her military training and like her upbringing. She was boring. She's like a plain.
I didn't get that 10 pound. I didn't get that from her.
I kind of see what he's talking about, though. I'll be real with you. Like, he's not throwing no flips, man. Like, he's not capping right now. Like,
I don't know. Boring. Maybe I was just too much into the visuals. I don't know.
I wouldn't say she was boring.
To
She was definitely not like controversial. She wasn't swearing at anybody. She wasn't being controversial.
She's controversial.
Oh,
but
she was
that's not-
controversial.
like, you gotta be.
And I think that's why she didn't get anywhere,
Yeah,
because
she got
she was pressing the line on Hillary Clinton.
Yep.
But that's not
Yeah.
controversial.
And she couldn't even.
Speaking facts, like, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah, but she was railroaded, and she couldn't put that into more like to galvanize more people. That's because of her personality. Her personality is just like I said, she's a plank. Like, she's just not appealing. But to compare her to like there's like the next go around, there's a lot of like buzz online. There's Nina Turner.
yeah.
Now, like, to compare and contrast, Nina Turner is like, she's very appealing. Like, the way she speaks and everything like that. Like, she's extremely appealing to a lot of people. It's like she's kind of like a preacher. And Tulsi Gabbard is just like boring. Like, she has no appeal.
So
There's no
Robert
appeal.
Wagner said Tulsi did good on the Joe Rogan show. I didn't even see that.
I saw it.
Did
Yeah.
y'all see it?
Yeah, I saw that.
What'd you think about it?
Crashed it, honestly, in my opinion, with her conversations, and she appealed to the everyday like American citizen, who was like, you know,
I mean, I thought she was a perfect candidate for America. She did the military thing. She gave her time to the service. She's challenging Hillary Clinton.
mhm.
I just thought she was great, man. She, again, like I said before, Default, she would go over to Fox News, do interviews over there. So she was kind of crossing.
I watched her.
Yeah,
I watched the whole.
man.
I watched the whole thing.
If not her, who on the Democratic side?
This go around, like 10 Pound said, it was supposed to be Sheepdog,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he got railroaded by Obama and that whole coalition. Like, they all combined all their forces into Joe Biden, because Joe Biden could win over the black vote in the South.
Yeah, bro.
That's the only reason why he's the Democratic nominee right now. Is because he won the blacks in the South.
Biden, bro. Literally, they pulled the Power Rangers on Bernie Sanders. At the last
The Power Rangers took a shot for that one. The Power Rangers. The thing is, bro. Okay, yeah. It was supposed to be Biden, and I didn't like Biden. Was too much of a socialist. He was too far.
Oh, you talking about Bernie being too much of a socialist?
I mean, Bernie.
Yeah.
Bernie. Yeah, Bernie.
No, he was definitely a populist, though. He was a populist more than a socialist. He was just doing what people.
Yeah, Bernie ain't a socialist, man. He's really, like, honestly, on the spectrum, he's a moderate. Like, the problem with this country is it's corporatist. It's extreme corporatist. You don't have any politician on any side of the aisle that are fighting for regular people. That, like, who wins tonight? It doesn't matter between Trump and Biden. Corporations win, regardless who wins who wins on November 3rd, or whatever the day it is. It's corporations that win. So to me, this is just like political theater. All this stuff is just like, to make a newscast and have people go kikiing online and stuff like that. But when you really break it down, man, it's a waste of time. We talked about this like a million times over with crypto.
Mm-hmm.
I was like getting the incentives, like why to get people to use crypto. But I think with this DeFi stuff, if it's utilized the right way, it can actually, but I don't think it will be, but it can actually start to undermine the current system we're in, the current economic system we're in. If somebody creates something that incentivizes like the use and gives an actual benefit, you will actually start to get like real people using crypto. But you know, the way it's going, it's just looking like, I keep saying it looks like a replica of the system that we are in. It's just, we're putting crypto behind it.
Shout out to Nico Jimenez for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate the support. Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. So let me really quickly, I need to get you guys feedback on which channel you guys want to watch here. I mean, we got a couple I can pull up. Fox, NBC, ABC, CBS.
Bro, just don't get your channel blackballed, man. Like, I don't want you to like get this live stream removed, bro. So roll safe.
Nah, we're good. We should be good because it's gonna play in the background.
Yeah, just do the audio.
Yeah. What are you guys thinking?
You said CBS.
They pretty much all the same.
Yeah, I guess.
It's supposed to be on Fox, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be on all of them. Let me see if I do a refresh.
Oh, do not support Disney, bro. Don't give them the ratings, fam. Anything but Disney, Fox, bro.
Disney? No Disney?
Yeah, don't support Fox, man. Don't tune in to Fox.
Oh, no Fox?
Yeah, don't give them the ratings, bro. Man.
I can't give Clinton News Network any either.
Oh man, like
MSNBC.
They all the same, man.
I know, man. Right?
They all the same. It don't matter.
I'm trying to make myself feel better a little bit.
But the thing is, that, like, the thing is that, like, for real, like, Disney actually ran towards the Epstein Island, yo. Like, that's my only problem.
They got stuff on. They say they got stuff on Trump with the Epstein situation.
Yeah, but they doing the dirt too, bro. They incriminated themselves, man. They're doing scuba tours to Epstein Island, bro. Like,
man, they had like John Legend. They had everybody on that island, dog. Everybody was on the island. That's why,
bro. Ordinary people.
Yeah, bro. They were doing the most, bro.
I didn't hear about that.
They had Chris Tucker. They had Naomi Campbell. It was a whole bunch of politicians. You got Clinton, of course. Like, ain't nothing coming from that, man. Like, all them people tied in with each other. That's something that's like, yo, I was talking about this the other day. There is no consequence. Like, if you're the elite, that's how you know if you're elite or not. There's no consequences for the elite. Like, they can do whatever. Everybody would know. And there is no consequences. But if you do a little thing, they throwing a whole, you going under the jail. Like, that's what needed to really change. Like, that's when you know things have changed, when the elite start having consequences.
Big facts.
But right now,
we in the dirty, yo. This is the dark ages right now. Real fruity.
Okay, so I want to tell y'all my theory on what's going down after the election. So I think that, you know, we got these mail-in ballots this year, right? So with the mail-in ballots, they're not all going to be in right away, right on November 3rd or 4th or whatever. So you're going to have one team, one party win on the night of the election, and then it's going to, a week or two later, be pulled back, bro. And I think it's going to go Republicans win on the night because they get the electoral vote. Even though he's behind right now, I think after like this debate and the next one, he'll get ahead. But then the Democrats will come in with the mail-in ballots and swing that vote right back the other way. What do you think? I think that's just going to be an all-out civil war at that point.
Looking forward to this, Mr. President.
I don't think it's going to come down to war because If it is, then the society is going to be completely eroded to the point where nobody's going to trust anybody. And this economic system is going to grind to a complete halt. And that's not what corporations want. So they're going to do their best to appease people, I think, in my opinion. After this, after all is said and done, they're going to try to kick the can down the road, move forward with more stimulus, try to get more jobs programs. The dollar is probably going to head towards zero. And then they're going to issue these digital social credit score and digital dollar ecosystem and completely reform the system and try to keep the halcyon moving forward while bombing and disrupting international trade and commerce abroad. That's what I think is going to happen. But that's just my 2 pounds, my 10 pounds, if you will.
Your 10 pounds. What do you think, Default, man? You think what do you think the outcome of the election is going to be? How's it all going to pan out?
I mean, your theory, anything is possible, man. And like, if you haven't learned anything, like from this year, anything's possible. I look at it 2 ways. I think if if Trump wins, there won't be another stimulus. I don't think there's going to be another stimulus, and then you're going to have the whole issue with the coronavirus, because the Republicans' plan is just not to address it. And if Biden wins, I think you're going to have some type of stimulus for some type of economic, recovery attempt. And I think that's what's going to push, the more inflation, like the more inflationary situation. But honestly, like I said, who wins is corporations. So it really don't matter at this point.
No, it doesn't. It's just for pure entertainment for me. It literally does not matter. It literally does not matter. I'm in total agreement with you on that one.
So it's whatever, man. Like we'll see what happens. If people won't go and start killing each other over this stuff, it's just like it just shows you how brainwashed people are because they don't understand the game that's going on. So it's whatever, man.
Right. Facts.
So we have the Senate, we have a president.
So you get into that USDP, the one that you sent me?
Yeah, I got like 30 people under that joint because of that link.
Ooh, that boy about to be paid.
He moving numbers.
That boy about to be paid. Yeah. I told my buddy John that, man. He's like, man, you got a referral link? You gonna send it off? I'm like, nah, I ain't even gonna do my people like that. I'm not gonna give them the rug pull plus the commission. I'm not gonna sell them the rug and get commission from it, right? I can't do that.
Yeah.
So
I just put in like a few chat rooms and people kept clicking on it because it says $3,000. But I don't know, man. You know how it is in this space. They be like, oh yeah, $1,000 would be 1,000 tokens. Like who knows? They saying it's a stable coin. We'll see what happens.
They'll have to They'll have to stop. They'll have to literally back the market up at that peg. They'll have to peg the market and spend that money until everyone who wants to unloads at $1.
Yeah,
are they willing to do that?
That's not a problem at all for 100 million. I don't think that's a problem.
They got 100 million just to blow on that.
I think what they really wanted to do was make this winner takes all and everything, and giving 1,000 people real users funds. Well, I don't think that's a problem for them.
I mean, they're collecting data.
Like, yo, 100.
They're collecting your Twitter. They're collecting your Telegram. Like they're collecting data. So there's value in that.
Yes.
And then, so there is a monetary reason to do it. And if we don't know who's really behind it. We don't know some VC behind it. $100 million might be nothing. Like,
it's in the grand scheme of things, literally like very minuscule in a $100 billion plus multi-billion, almost multi-trillion dollar ecosystem.
Hold on, fellas. Let's tune in and get heated up here.
We are going to talk about COVID in the next segment, but go ahead.
Let me finish. The point is that the president also is opposed to Roe v. Wade. That's on the ballot as well in the court. And so that's also at stake right now. And so the election is all
You don't know it's on the ballot. Why is it on the ballot?
Because
why is it on the ballot? It's not on the ballot.
It's on the ballot in the court.
I don't think so.
In the court.
Well, there's nothing happening there.
Donald, would you
And you
just
don't
be quiet
know
for a minute?
her view on Roe v. Wade. You don't know her view.
Well, all right. Let's talk. We got a lot to unpack here, gentlemen. We got a lot of time, so
I can't stand this guy.
on health care, and then we'll come back to Roe v. Wade.
All right.
Mr. President, the Supreme Court will hear a case a week after the election in which the Trump administration, along with 18 state attorneys general, are seeking to overturn Obamacare, to end Obamacare. You have spent the last...
Because they want to give good health care.
If I may ask my question, sir.
Good health care.
Over the last 4 years, you have promised...
Snort that Addy, baby!
...replace Obamacare.
Get your mind right,
in
candidates.
4 years, come up with a plan, a comprehensive plan to replace Obamacare.
Of course I have.
Well,
I got rid of the individual mandate.
I'm going to give you an opportunity.
I got rid of the individual mandate, which was a big chunk of
Obamacare.
That is absolutely a big thing. That was the worst part of Obamacare.
Sir,
Chris,
you're
that was the worst part of Obamacare.
Let me ask my question.
Well, I'll ask Joe. The individual mandate was the most unpopular aspect
Trump
of
is
Obamacare.
now the moderator, guy.
Moderator of this debate, and I would like you to let me ask my question, and then you can answer your question. You, in the course of these 4 years, have never come up with a comprehensive plan to replace Obamacare, and just this last Thursday, you signed a largely symbolic executive order to protect people with pre-existing conditions 5 days before this debate. So my question, sir, is what is the Trump health care plan?
Right. Well, first of all, I guess I'm debating you, not him, but that's okay. I'm not surprised. Let me just tell you something, that there's nothing symbolic. I'm cutting drug prices. I'm going with favored nations, which no president has the courage to do because you're going against Big Pharma. Drug prices will be coming down 80 or 90%. You could have done it during your 47-year period in government, but you didn't do it. Nobody's done it. So we're cutting health care. All of the things that we've done, insulin. I give you an example. Insulin. It was destroying families, destroying people. The cost. I'm getting it for so cheap. It's like water, you want to know the truth. So cheap. Take a look at all of the drugs what we're doing, prescription drug prices. We're going to allow our governors now to go to other countries to buy drugs because they pay just a tiny fraction.
As I say, this is open discussion.
No,
let me ask you about,
this is big stuff.
Sir, you'll be happy. I'm about to pick up on one of your points to ask the vice president, which is he points out that you would like to add a public option to Obamacare, and the argument that he makes and other Republicans make is that is going to end private insurance.
It is
and
not.
Well, if I can ask you the question, it will
not
end.
What your party says, by the way.
It will end private insurance and create a government takeover of health care.
It does not. It's only for those people who are so poor they qualify for Medicaid. They can get that free in most states, except governors who want to deny people who are poor Medicaid. Anyone who qualifies for Medicare would, Medicaid would automatically be enrolled in the public option. The vast majority of the American people would still not be in that option. Number one.
Joe, you agreed with Bernie Sanders, who's far left, on the manifesto, we call it. And that gives you socialized medicine.
Look, hey, I'm not going to listen to him. The fact of the matter is, I beat Bernie Sanders.
Not by much.
I beat him a whole hell of a lot. I'm here standing facing you.
Pocahontas would have left 2 days early. You would have lost every prize.
All he knows how to do is
Tuesday. You got very lucky.
Here's the deal. I got very lucky. I'm going to get very lucky tonight as well. And tonight I'm going to make sure, because here's the deal. Here's the deal. The fact is that everything he's saying so far is simply a lie. I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar.
But you
I just want to make sure.
Joe, you're the liar.
I want to make sure.
You graduated last in your class, not first in your class.
I want to make sure.
Can you let him finish, sir?
No, he doesn't know how to do that. He has, you picked
You'd be surprised.
the wrong guy, the wrong night at the wrong time.
Listen, you agreed with Bernie Sanders to the manifesto.
The whole idea.
Tim, you're right. RIP USA.
Please let him speak, Mr.
Number two.
You just lost the left.
Number two.
You just lost the left.
Sad situation.
You agreed with Bernie Sanders on a plan.
Folks,
absolutely.
Folks, do you have any idea what this clown's doing?
They call it
Do you have any?
socialized medicine.
Mr. President.
I'll tell you what. He is not for any help for people needing health care because he in fact already has cost 10 million people their health care that they had from their employers because of his recession. Number one. Number two, there are 20 million people getting health care through Obamacare now that he wants to take it away. He won't ever look you in the eye and say that's what he wants to do. Take it away.
No, I want to give them better health care at a much lower price because
and by the way, he doesn't know how. He doesn't know how to do that.
I've already fixed it.
He has never offered a plan.
Fixed it to an extent.
He has never done a single thing.
As you might know, but probably does.
Gentlemen, you realize if you're both speaking at the same time,
and it's too expensive.
Let the president go ahead, sir.
Obamacare is no good. We made it better, and I had a choice to make very early on. We took away the individual mandate.
Kevin B.
We
so
guaranteed
right,
pre-existing conditions, but took away the individual
true.
mandate. Listen, this is the way it is, and that destroyed. That they shouldn't even call it Obamacare. Then I had a choice to make.
Take a bump, Biden. Take a bump of that Adderall.
Really well,
get your mind right.
Or badly. If I run it badly, they'll probably blame him, but they'll blame me. But more importantly, I want to help people. Okay? I said you got to run it so well.
That's what.
And I just had a meeting with them. They said the problem is no matter how well you run Obamacare, it's a disaster. It's too expensive. Premiums are too high, and it doesn't work.
Premiums are definitely
we
too
do
high
want to get rid of it.
Chris,
we want to get rid of it.
I understand it, sir, but I have to give you roughly equal time.
Good.
Please let the vice president talk.
Good.
He has no plan for health care.
Of course we do.
Please.
He sends out wishful thinking. He
Trump can't help himself,
have
man.
No power.
This guy cannot help
costs
himself.
for anybody. He's been promising a health care plan since he got elected. He has none, like almost everything else he talks about. He does not have a plan. He doesn't have a plan. And the fact is,
you
this
said
man
that 5
doesn't know
times
what
now,
he's talking
Biden.
about.
What is your plan?
I have one final question for you,
Sure.
Mr. Vice President. If Senate Republicans, we were talking originally about the Supreme Court here, if Senate Republicans go ahead and confirm Justice Barrett, there has been talk about ending the filibuster or even packing the court, adding to the 9 justices there. You call this a distraction by the president, but in fact it wasn't brought up by the president. It was brought up by some of your Democratic colleagues in the Congress. So my question to you is, you have refused in the past to talk about it. Are you willing to tell the American people tonight whether or not you will support either ending the filibuster or packing the court?
Whatever position I take on that, that'll become the issue. The issue is the American people should speak.
Oh, come on.
You should go out and vote.
Come on, Sleepy
You're in
Joe.
voting now. Vote and let your senators know how strongly you feel.
Answer the question.
Vote now.
You're gonna pack the
Make
court?
sure you, in fact, let people know
He doesn't want
you're a
to answer the
senator.
question.
I'm not going to answer the question
Why
because
would you answer that question?
the question is the
Supreme Court justice, radical left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, who is on your list, Joe? Who's on your list?
Gentlemen, I think
this
we've
is
ended
so
this.
He's going to pack the court.
We have
I'm not going to give a list.
We have ended this segment. We're going to move on to the second segment.
That was really a productive segment, wasn't it? Keep yapping, man.
The people understand, Joe.
They sure
47 years you've done nothing. They understand.
All right.
Exactly.
The second subject is COVID-19, which is an awfully serious subject. So
Trump,
let's try to
you
be
lose
serious
this
about
one, buddy.
it. We have had more than 7 million cases
lose
of
this
coronavirus in the United States, and more than 200,000 people have died. Even after we produce a vaccine, experts say that it could be months or even years before we come back to anything approaching normal. My question for both of you is, based on what you have said and done so far and what you have said you would do starting in 2021, why should the American people trust you more than your opponent to deal with this public health crisis going forward? In this case, the question goes to you first, sir. 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Good luck. 200,000 dead.
Did he just,
as you said, over 7 million
give himself
infected
a
in the
good
United
luck?
States. We, in fact, have 5%, 4% of the world's population, 20% of the deaths.
Oh, my God.
40,000 people a day are contracting COVID. In addition to
guy
that,
Biden just gave himself
between
a good luck
750
rate.
and 1,000 people a day are dying. When he was presented with that number, he said, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is because you are who you are. That's why it is. The president has no plan. He hasn't laid out anything. He knew all the way back in February how serious this crisis was. He knew it was a deadly disease. What did he do? He's on tape as acknowledging he knew it. He said he didn't tell us or give people a warning of it because he didn't want to panic the American people. You don't panic. He panicked. In addition to that, what did he do? He went in and we were insisting that the Chinese, the people we had on the ground in China should be able to go to Wuhan and determine for themselves how dangerous this was.
Good luck.
He did not even ask Xi to do that. He told us what a great job Xi was doing. He said we owe him a debt of gratitude for being so transparent with us. And what did he do then? He then did nothing. He waited and waited and waited. He still doesn't have a plan. I laid out back in March exactly what we should be doing. And I laid out again in July.
What is your plan, Joe? I have not heard anything.
Protective gear possible. We should be providing the money the House has passed in order to be able to go out and get people the help they need to keep their businesses open schools that cost a lot of money. You should get out of your bunker and get out of the sand trap and get in your golf course and go in the Oval Office and bring together the Democrats and Republicans and fund what needs to be done now to save lives.
So if we would have listened to you...
You have 2 minutes, sir.
If we would have listened to you, the country would have been left wide open. Millions of people would have died, not 200,000, and one person is too much. It's China's fault. It should have never happened. They stopped it from going in, but it was China's fault. And by the way, when you talk about numbers, you don't know how many people died in China. You don't know how many people died in Russia. You don't know how many people died in India. They don't exactly give you a straight count, just so you understand.
Those are facts.
But if you look at what we've done, I closed it, and you said he's xenophobic. He's a racist, and he's xenophobic because you didn't think I should have closed our country. Wait a minute.
It says 2 minutes.
You didn't think we should have closed our country because you thought it was terrible.
That's true, Joe.
You wouldn't have closed it for another 2 months. By my doing it early, in fact, Dr. Fauci said, President Trump saved thousands of lives. Many of you Democrat governors said, President Trump did a phenomenal job. We worked with the governor. Oh, really? Go take a look. The governors said I did a phenomenal job. Most of them said that. In fact, people that would not be necessarily on my side said that. President Trump did a phenomenal job. We did. We got the gowns. We got the masks. We made the ventilators. You wouldn't have made ventilators. And now we're weeks away from a vaccine. We're doing therapeutics already. Fewer people are dying when they get sick. Far fewer people are dying. We've done a great job. The only thing I haven't done a good job, and that's because of the fake news. No matter what you say to them, they give you bad press on it. It's just fake news. They give you good press. They give me bad press because that's the way it is, unfortunately. But let me just tell you something. I don't care. I've gotten used to it. But I'll tell you, Joe, you could never have done the job that we did. You don't have it in your blood. You could have never done that job.
I know how to do the job. I know how to get the job
Well, you didn't do very well in swine flu. H1N1, you were a disaster.
Biden don't even remember swine flu, y'all.
14,000 people died, not 200,000. There was no economic recession.
Sir, you made a
there was no recession.
You made a point. Let him answer.
And there was we didn't shut down the economy. This is his economy he's shut down. The reason it's shut down is because, look, you folks at home, how many of you got up this morning and had an empty chair at the kitchen table because someone died of COVID? How many of you were in a situation where you lost your mom or dad and you couldn't even speak to them? You had a nurse holding a phone up so you could, in fact, say goodbye.
You would have lost far more people. Far more people. And you would have been.
And by the way,
his own
CDC director says we could lose as many as another 200,000 people between now and the end of the year. And he held up. He said, if we just wear a mask, we can save half those numbers. Just a mask. And by the way, Trump, in terms of the whole notion of a vaccine, we're for a vaccine, I don't trust him at all, nor do you. I know you don't. What we trust is a scientist.
You don't trust Dr. Fauci. Johnson, Pfizer.
Okay, by the way, gentlemen, let me move on to questions about the future, because you both have touched on two of the questions I'm going to ask. Focusing on the future first, President Trump, you have repeatedly either contradicted or been at odds with some of your government's own top scientists. The week before last, the head of the Centers for Disease Control, Dr. Redfield, said it would be summer before the vaccine would become generally available to the public. You said that he was confused and mistaken. Those were your two words.
Yeah.
But Dr. Slawi, the head of
Give me a
your
call if you
operation,
want
Warp
to
Speed,
chat.
has said exactly the same
669-900-6833.
thing. Are they both wrong?
Well, I've spoken to
You
the
gotta punch in
companies,
that
and we
code,
can have it a lot sooner. It's a very
169-861-1119.
political thing because people like this would rather make it political than save lives. It is a very political thing. I've spoken to Pfizer. I've spoken to all of the people that you have to speak to. We have great Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and others. They can go faster than that by a lot. Become very political because the left, or I don't know if I call them left, I don't know what I call them.
So you're suggesting that the head of your operation, Warp Speed, Dr. Slawi?
I disagree with him. Yeah, no, I disagree with both of them. And he didn't say that. He said it could be there, but it could also be much sooner. I had him in my office 2 days ago.
He talked about the summer, sir, before it's generally available. Just like
he said it's a possibility that we'll have the answer before November 1st. It could also be after
when it's
that.
Generally available.
Well, we're going to deliver it right away. We have the military all set up. Logistically, they're all set up. We have our military that delivers soldiers, and they can do 200,000 a day. They're going to be delivering.
This is the same man
it's
who
all
told
set
you
up.
by Easter this would be gone away. By the warm weather, it'd be gone. Miraculous, like a miracle. And by the way, maybe you could inject some bleach in your arm, and that would take care of it.
That's not what he said.
Sarcastically,
that was,
you know that. That was said sarcastically.
And so here's the deal. This man is talking about a vaccine. Every serious company is talking about maybe having a vaccine done by the end of the year. But the distribution of that vaccine will not occur until sometime beginning or the middle of next year to get it out, if we get the vaccine. And pray God we will. Pray God we will.
Mr. Vice President, I want to pick up, though.
You'll have
on
the
that.
vaccine sooner
I want to
than
pick
that.
up on this question, though. You say the public can trust the scientists, but they can't trust President Trump. In fact, you said that again tonight. Your running mate, Senator Harris, goes further, saying the public health experts, quote, will be muzzled, will be suppressed. Given the fact that polls already show that people are concerned about the vaccine and are reluctant to take it, are you and your running mate, Senator Harris, contributing to that fear?
No more than the question you just asked him. You pointed out. He puts pressure and disagrees with his own scientists.
But you're saying
Everybody
you can't,
knows.
or Senator Harris is saying you can't trust the scientists.
No, you can trust the scientists. She didn't say that. You can't trust
She said the public health experts, quote, will be muzzled, will be suppressed.
Well,
Biden don't
that's what he's
remember
going to try to do, but there's millions of scientists, there's thousands of scientists out there, like here at this great hospital, that don't work for him.
There he goes, about to go off on a tangent, you guys.
That's not, they're the people, and by the way.
I spoke to the scientists that are in charge.
By the way.
They will have the vaccine very soon.
Do you believe for a moment what he's telling you in
No,
light
I
of
don't.
all
I'm
the
not gonna lie,
lies he's
Biden.
told you about
I don't believe
the
we'll have
whole
it soon.
issue relating to COVID? He still hasn't even acknowledged that he knew this was happening, knew how dangerous it was going to be back in February, and he didn't even tell you. He's on record as saying it. He panicked, or he just looked at the stock market.
The pass
One of the
is
two, because
right there
guess
at the
what?
bottom.
A lot of people die, and a lot more are going to die unless he gets a lot smarter, a lot quicker.
Mr. President?
Did you use the word smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word. Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years you've done nothing.
Let's have this debate.
And if you would have had, let me just tell you something, Joe. If you would have
Trump
had
said, don't you
the
ever
charge
use the word
of what
smart.
I was put through. I had to close the greatest economy in the history of our country. And by the way, now it's being built again.
We're going to get to the economy in the next segment, sir.
Okay.
It's going up fast.
Okay. When it comes to how the virus has been handled so far, the two of you have taken very different approaches, and this is going to affect how the virus is handled going forward by whichever of you ends up becoming the next president. I want to quickly go through several of those. Reopenings. Vice President Biden, you have been much more reluctant than President Trump about reopening the economy and schools. Why, sir?
Because he doesn't have a plan. If I were running, I know what the plan is. You've got to provide these businesses the ability to have the money to be able to reopen with the PPE, as well as with the sanitation they need. You have to provide them plastic.
Tell that to Nancy Pelosi.
Well, he's just shush for a minute.
Tell it to Nancy Pelosi and Schumer.
By the way,
Chuck.
Nancy Pelosi and Schumer, they have a plan. He won't even meet with them. The Republicans won't meet with him in the Senate. And he sits in his golf course. And well, I mean, literally, think about it.
You probably play more than I do, Joe.
What about this question of reopenings and the fact?
Well, he wants to shut down this country, and I want to keep it open. And we did a great thing by shutting it down. Wait a minute, Joe. Let me shut you down for a second, Joe, just for 1 second. He wants to shut down the country. We just went through it. We had to because we didn't know anything about the disease. Now we found that elderly people with heart problems and diabetes and different problems are very, very vulnerable. We learned a lot. Young children aren't. Even younger people aren't. We've learned a lot. But he wants to shut it down. More people will be hurt by continuing. If you look at Pennsylvania, if you look at certain states that have been shut down, they have Democrat governors all. One of the reasons they're shut down is because they want to keep it shut down until after the election on November 3rd.
I want to move on to another
because
subject.
it's a political thing. But those states are not doing well that are shut down right now.
Respond to that.
President Trump, you have begun to increasingly question the effectiveness of masks as a disease preventer. And in fact, recently you have cited the issue of waiters touching their masks and touching plates. Are you questioning
the
efficacy of masks?
You have to understand, if you look, I mean, I have a mask right here. I put a mask on, when I think I need it. Tonight,
just started yesterday.
Everybody's had a test, and you've had social distancing and all of the things that you have to. But I wear masks when needed. When needed, I wear masks.
Okay, let me ask.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen. I will say this.
Vice President Biden, go ahead, sir.
Look, the way to open businesses is give them the wherewithal to be able to open. We provided money.
But I was asking you, sir, about masks.
Well, masks make a big difference. His own head of the CDC said if we just wore masks between now, if everybody wore masks in social distance between now and January, we'd probably save up to 100,000 lives. It matters.
And they've also said the opposite. They've also said
no serious person.
No, you need masks, man. Out in public. I'm sorry.
Dr. Fauci said the opposite.
He did not say the opposite.
All you have to do is look at any of the other countries in the West. They all wear masks, and guess what? Their numbers, they've been wearing masks prior to this pandemic. The numbers are lower. Just look at the numbers. Masks work. They work.
With crowds packed together, thousands of people. Outside, yes, sir. Agreed. Vice President Biden, you are holding much smaller events with...
Because nobody will show up.
People with...
What's true? Nobody shows up to his rallies.
All right. In any case, why are you holding the big rallies? Why you not?
Man.
You go first, sir.
Chris Wallace had to laugh on that one.
Hear what I have to say. I mean,
but are you not worried about
a great job as a president, and I'll have 35,000 people show up at airports. We use airports.
Are you not worried about the disease issues, sir?
Well, so far, we have had no problem whatsoever. It's outside. That's a big difference, according to the experts. And we do them outside. We have tremendous crowds, as you see. I mean, and literally on 24 hours notice. And Joe does the circles and has 3 people someplace.
Okay. By the way, did you see one of the last big rallies he had? And a reporter came up to him to ask him a question. He said, no, stand back. Put on your mask. Put on a mask. Have you been tested? I'm way far away from those other people. That's what he said. I can't. I'm going to be okay. He's not worried about you. He's not worried about the people out there breathing in one another.
We've had no negative effect.
No negative effect.
We've had no negative effect. And we've had 35,000, 40,000 people at these rallies.
Just quickly finish up because I want to move on to our next.
Yes, I would. He's been totally irresponsible the way in which he has handled the
Very true,
social
10 pounds.
distancing and
Yeah,
people
truth monster. That's not true, man. My wife sees the numbers all the time.
If you could
young people are affected
but you can't. Nobody cares.
a lot, man. When I say a lot, I mean 30%.
Yes.
The economy is, I think it's fair to say, recovering faster.
I'm not talking about like, yeah, the mortality rate is lower for the youth, younger people and healthy people, but those people get sick too, man, and they get really sick. So it's not like it's it's just a flu that younger people get. It's not necessarily true.
Vice President Biden, you say it's more of a K-shape. What difference does that mean to the American people in terms of the economy? President Trump, in this segment, you go first.
So we built the greatest economy in history. We closed it down because of the China plague. When the plague came in, we closed it down, which was very hard psychologically to do. He didn't think we should close it down, and he was wrong. And again, 2 million people would be dead now instead of still 204,000 people is too much. One person is too much. Should have never happened from China. But what happened is we closed it down, and now we're reopening, and we're doing record business. We had 10.4 million people in a 4-month period that we've put back into the workforce. That's a record the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. And he wants to close down he will shut it down again. He will destroy this country. You know, a lot of people, between drugs and alcohol and depression, when you start shutting it down, you take a look at what's happening at some of your Democrat-run states where they have these tough shutdowns. And I'm telling you, it's because they don't want to open it. One of them came out last week. You saw that. Oh, we're going to open up on November 9th. Why November 9th? Because it's after the election. They think they're hurting us by keeping them closed. They're hurting people. People know what to do. They can social distance. They can wash their hands. They can wear masks. They can do whatever they want. But they got to open these states up.
You be reaching in that jacket, Biden.
North Carolina,
looking for cheat codes.
These governors are
looking
under
for your
siege.
cheat sheet. Don't be looking for that
Michigan,
cheat sheet,
and
Biden.
a couple of others. You got to open these states up. It's not fair. You're talking about almost it's like being in prison. And you look at what's going on with divorce. Look at what's going on with alcoholism and drugs. It's a very, very sad thing. And he'll close down the whole country. This guy will close down the whole country and destroy our country. Our country is coming back incredibly well, setting records as it does it. We don't need somebody to come in and say, let's shut it down.
All right. Your 2 minutes, sir. We're now moved to you. As I said, posing the question, the president says it's a V-shaped recovery. You say it's a K-shaped recovery. What's the difference?
The hell is a K-shape?
Millionaires and billionaires like him in the middle of the COVID crisis have done very well. Billionaires have made another $300 billion because of his profligate tax proposal, and he only focused on the market.
Up, down, down, left, right, exactly.
You folks living in Scranton,
all right, let's see.
and
We got a
Claremont,
caller
and
here.
all the
Let's get
small
this
towns
caller
and
in
working
here
class
real
towns
quick.
in America. How well are you doing?
Let me see.
This guy paid a total of $750 in taxes.
Sir, wait, no. Sir, it's just I understand. You've agreed to the 2 minutes, so please let him have it.
Do I get my time back? The fact is that
all right,
caller
on the line.
He's going to be the first president of the United States.
Who's calling
in? Hey, what's up? JP, what's up?
JP, what's going on, JP?
Man, I'm sitting up there in Texas. It's crazy.
How you enjoying this this debate?
Man, I want to talk about some money.
Uh-oh. All right.
Everybody in on that USP?
Round of applause for that. We can always talk about money.
That's it.
So USDP, is that what it's called?
I don't know what it's called. I know that I got some of those. You put in 0.1 and you get $1,000.
Yeah. Let me get hold on one second. Yeah, so the $1,000 thing, man, I don't know, man. I'm skeptical unless they're gonna actually, peg that price when it comes out on the 30th. Everyone, I would assume a lot of people would be selling. Just my take.
Right.
I don't know. It's called what? USwap, right? Isn't it called USwap?
Yeah, that's it. USwap.
They've done nothing to help small businesses.
But but Trump is kicking Biden's butt. That's all I got to say.
So far.
It's over.
So far.
Yeah,
so far.
It's going to be Kamala in 2024. She can give up this one.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, I don't know, man. As I stated before, I see a scenario where Republicans win on the night of the election, and then you have the ballots roll in, the mail-in ballots, and then you have a swing in the vote, and then boom, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, you got the Democrats calling the win, and all chaos breaks out. That's how I see it.
Right, huh? Yeah, it could happen either way. It's gonna be chaos.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I'm not too sure. I'm not too confident that Trump is just gonna win and it's all over.
Right. I agree. Whatever happens, it's gonna be interesting.
Absolutely. It's definitely going to be interesting. I've got, let me see. I think I've got the Uswap site up, man. I don't understand this. 10 Pound, you can chime in if you want, bro. I think I have you unmuted.
Yeah,
hey, get off me, boy.
Yeah. I'm here, bro. So it is USP. That's the ticker, right? It's not USP. It's USP.
USP. I think so.
Yeah.
It's uswapexchange.com. I'm not telling you to get in. As you can see at the top, though, it says earn your free $1,000 worth of USP. Yeah, that's what it's called, USP. Oh, so they send you to the chat room on Telegram, where you have to go through these sequences of like, you know, steps to get to claim your tokens, or get in queue to claim your tokens.
Yeah, it's pretty much a stimulus check for the ecosystem to, of course, get real volume, real numbers, not just robots wash trading back and forth in the ecosystem. And also backed by VC capitalists. They already have a team of advisors, and they got investors already on board with 5 years investing into the stablecoin ecosystem. That's supposed to be a decentralized AMM. It's supposed to rival what Uniswap is doing, but also their token listed on Uniswap on the 30th as well.
Yeah, so how is that gonna work? You're gonna be the opposition to the Uniswap, and then you're gonna go think you're just gonna list on Uniswap. I guess it's a DEX, huh?
Yeah, it's a DEX. They want to be interoperable. They have to be interoperable, you know, because you can't sell a bridge without building the bridge first, right? So ultimately, at the end of the day, what SushiSwap did was they took the LP away from Uniswap. A lot of competitors are going to try to do the same thing. They're going to try to dig into Uniswap's LP. They want to take that liquidity away from Uniswap. That's how the game is going to be played. Like, hear me now, quote me later. And that's the way it is, because they are the true trailblazing pioneers that created the one-click solution for decentralized finance, in my opinion. So, like, you gotta either beat them or you gotta join them. And if you join them, then you can quite possibly undermine their ecosystem and beat them. And I think that's what VC capitalists are looking to do in the next coming time.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, we'll see, man. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to give my referral link. You guys just go ahead and go to uswapexchange.com if you want to know more information about that. The link, you'll see the earn 1,000 USP free in the top right corner. See, I don't know. Maybe you'll be able to, like Uniswap. Hey, I don't know. I think it only works if it's a surprise. When you telegraph this type of stuff, I think it's gonna end up being ugly, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see this panning out right. But hey,
well,
just how many people are invested?
Well, they have a 60
million.
Oh, so they got like 1,000 people invested so far. But here's the thing: they got a $60 million. So once the $60 million cap is reached, they cannot distribute anymore. Like, that's the way it is. Now, what Uniswap did was they didn't guarantee people $1,000. Uniswap, they were like, all right, this is governance. Anybody that used it, they will get this, and that's the way it is. These guys are taking it a step further. They're just guaranteeing $1,000, right? I mean, when Uniswap first hit,
with the cap,
with the cap, of course. And now, when Uniswap first hit, they had a cap too, but they didn't really put a dollar amount against their token. They were like, we're just gonna let the free market decide. These guys, they want to build this ecosystem on top of an actual token that's going to be pegged 1-to-1 ratio. And like in the long term, $100 million isn't much. I mean, let's be real here. The dollar is being hyperinflated as we speak. The printing presses aren't stopping. You know, these banks aren't going to stop, you know, pretty much issuing bank credit and doing, you know, what do you call that process where they're lending based on other people's deposits. I keep forgetting the name of this. Shit, it's on the tip of my tongue.
So you're saying, see, I was under the suspicion, I suspected that Uniswap was actually bidding up the market when that Uni token came out.
I was under the impression that Coinbase capitalists, VC capitalists, were bidding it up.
Oh yeah, right. That same difference. Yep. So, in you know, kind of in proxy, they did kind of put a floor under it. They did put a price at it. I just don't see that many tokens coming out and the price is not dropping to like pennies from people selling, because there's no one on the other side but the people who issue it.
It's the people that have the 5-year vested contract with the investors.
But someone has to provide that liquidity.
Of course.
On the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. And those are the investors. That's
I think so.
1%. That's like, you know, the people that are pretty much going to be looking to secure all these stable coins for themselves, because they're going to be the ones playing the market, the other side of the market. So if they can constantly just buy back what, you know, they vested, what's going to stop them from just, you know, taking it all? Because let's be real here, yo. The U.S. dollar in itself is the winner take all, if you think about it. The U.S. dollar is winner take all. No matter what happens, these corporations that were established in the beginning of the system are going to be the victors of the system, no matter what.
Yeah. Truth Monster says Joe has no idea what investing is. He has never turned a profit or run a payroll in his life. He is a bureaucrat welfare queen.
I mean, dude, let's be real here. Trump, he's ran many businesses into the ground. He's made a lot of mistakes.
He has, but he knows business, though. I would say he knows how to. The art of what's that? Art of dealing or whatever.
Art of the Deal. That was a ghostwritten book, bro.
Oh, probably. Everything he makes his money off of licensing, right? It's the Trump brand.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. But I think he's a good debater, but also a good negotiator.
I think he's a great entertainer. That's what I think Trump is. Trump is a great entertainer.
Yeah, he's an entertainer for sure.
Like, for sure. Honestly, like I grew up watching him with his show, The Apprentice. You know.
Trump said Biden made the laws that helped his taxes. He let me lick a shot for that one. He never lied.
Oh, yeah,
that's exactly it. Like, people are mad at Trump for paying $735 or whatever. Be mad at the tax code.
Yeah.
That's not him. That's the tax code for these wealthy cats to take advantage of all these loopholes. So it's not Trump's fault.
He's just a byproduct of the system.
Byproduct of the system, bro.
What I was talking about is fractional reserve lending. Fractional reserve lending is what's causing the inflation to grow in this country past what the central banks are doing right now. So the central banks, of course, they're printing, they're doing, spending programs, they're, doing repo operations, they're pretty much doing the whole 9 yard, right? But the smaller banks, they're actually making a killing too by just taking the money the depositors are giving them and relending it out, replacing what they deposit with just credit. So that's not going to stop. That can't stop.
Yeah, nah, I feel you, man. Any other chime in today, JP?
No, that's it. I'm good, y'all. I was just trying to figure out how to get on the chat room too. The comments are disabled, I think.
No, they shouldn't be. I see people commenting now. I don't know why. Why you're not able to get there.
Oh, yeah, I must be on a proxy or something.
Okay, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
No, Truth Monster just said the government doesn't invest, the government only steals. That's bullshit, bro. The government backed Google, bro. Like, if it wasn't for the government investing into Google, you wouldn't be using this service to listen to Crypto Blood and pretty much watch this debate live right now.
Yeah, government definitely does invest. That's true. It's not a black and white thing. However, the malinvestment amount of the government's doing is so large, it's insane. So they do invest, but most of what they invest in is horrible. It's just going to it's the crony capitalism thing, and that goes on. That's for both sides, bro. That's Democrat and Republican. They're both just funneling all that money that the taxpayers generate into their own agendas.
Technically, it's not what the taxpayer generates, what the Federal Reserve generates. It's off the Federal balance sheet, which they can draw on as a $0 balance.
No, the answer to the question is no.
Yep. Let's see what this is starting to heat up here.
You know what? You're not true.
You're going to have
true.
Gentlemen, I hate to raise my voice, but I see it seems to be, why shouldn't I be different than the two of you? So here's the deal.
Shut up, Chris.
Have 6 segments. We have ended that segment. We're going to go to the next segment. In that segment, you each are going to have 2 uninterrupted moments. In those 2 uninterrupted minutes, Mr. President, you can say anything you want. I'm going to ask a question about race, but if you want to answer about something else, go ahead. But I think that the country would be better served if we allowed both people to speak with fewer interruptions. I'm appealing to you, sir, to do that.
Well, and him too.
Well, frankly, you've been doing more interrupting.
Well, that's
that's some bull.
Well, less than you have.
Let's be fair.
Let's please continue on. The issue of race. Vice President Biden, you say that President Trump's response to the violence in Charlottesville 3 years ago, when he talked about very fine people on both sides, was what directly led you to launch this run for president.
Oh, yeah, sure.
President Trump, you have often said that you believe you have done more for black Americans than any president, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln. My question to the two of you is, why should voters trust you rather than your opponent to deal with the race issues facing this country over the next 4 years? Vice President Biden, you go first.
It's about equity and equality. It's about decency. It's about the Constitution. And we have never walked away from trying to require equity for everyone, equality for the whole of America. But we've never accomplished it. But we've never walked away from it like he has done. It is true. The reason I got in the race is when those people, close your eyes, remember what those people looked like coming out of the fields carrying torches, their veins bulging, just spewing anti-Semitic bile, and accompanied by the Ku Klux Klan. A young woman got killed. And they asked the president what he thought. He said there were very fine people on both sides. No president has ever said anything like that.
It is whose...
Now, second point I'd make to you is that when Floyd was killed, when Mr. Floyd was killed, there was a peaceful protest in front of the White House. What did he do? He came out of his bunker, had the military use tear gas on him so he could walk across to a church and hold up a Bible. And then what happened after that? The bishop of that very church said that it was a disgrace. The general who was with him said all he ever wants to do is divide people, not unite people at all. This is a president who has used everything as a dog whistle to try to generate racist hatred, racist division. This is a man who, in fact, you talk about helping African Americans. 1 in 1,000 African Americans has been killed because of the coronavirus. And if he doesn't do something quickly, by the end of the year, 1 in 500 will have been killed. 1 in 500 African Americans. This man is a savior of African Americans? This man cares at all? This man's done virtually nothing. Look, the fact is that you have to look at what he talks about. You have to look at what he did. And what he did has been disastrous for the African-American community.
So, President Trump, you have 2 minutes. Why should Americans...
Shout out Truth Monster. We have our backs and forths, but he's definitely telling the truth about Kamala Harris calling Joe Biden a racist years ago. We want to forget about that, huh?
Never forgotten it. Yeah. Never forgotten it, Joe.
No, sir. It's his 2 minutes.
So you did that, and they call you super predator, and I'm letting people out of jail now that you have treated the African-American population community, you have treated the black community about as bad as anybody in this country. You did the 19, and that's why if you look at the polls, I'm doing better than any Republican has done in a long time because they saw what you did. You call them super predators, and you've called them worse than that because you look back at your testimony over the years, you've called them a lot worse than that. As far as the church is concerned and as far as the generals are concerned, we just got the support of 250 military leaders and generals, total support. Law enforcement, almost every law enforcement group in the United States. I have Florida, I have Texas, I have Ohio, I have Excuse me, Portland, the sheriff just came out today and he said, I support President Trump. I don't think you have any law enforcement. You can't even say the word law enforcement, because if you say those words, you're going to lose all of your radical left supporters. And why aren't you saying those words, Joe? Why don't you say the words law enforcement? Because you know what? If they called us in Portland, we would put out that fire in a half an hour, but they won't do it because they're run by radical left Democrats. If you look at Chicago, if you look at any place you want to look, Seattle, they heard we were coming in the following day, and they put up their hands, and we got back Seattle. Minneapolis, we got it back, Joe, because we believe in law and order, but you don't. The top 10 cities and just about the top 40 cities
are Democratic,
run by Democrats and in many cases radical left. And they've got you wrapped around their finger, Joe, to a point where you don't want to say anything about law and order. And I'll tell you what, the people of this country want and demand law and order, and you're afraid to even say it.
All right. I want to return to the question of race. Vice President Biden, after the grand jury in the Breonna Taylor case, decided not to charge any of the police with homicide. You said it raises the question, quote, whether justice could be equally applied in America. Do you believe...
Shout out to Tal Jones for the super chat. I appreciate it, brother. He says politics is the only way to enter peace and sanction. He says it's also a covert struggle to dominate the money supply and dumb down the people. I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Honorable men and women.
This is entertainment for me.
To take care of us.
This country.
But there are some bad apples, and when they occur, when they find them, they have to be sorted out. They have to be held accountable. They have to be held accountable. And what I'm going to do as President of the United States is call together an entire group of people at the White House, well, everything from the civil rights groups to the police officers, the police chiefs, and we're going to work this out.
We're going to blow everything from the
so we change the way in which we have more transparency in when these things happen. These cops aren't happy to see what happened to George Floyd. These cops aren't happy to see what happened to Breonna Taylor. Most don't like it. But we have to have a system where people are held accountable. And
yes,
by the way,
people do need to be held accountable.
Is never appropriate.
My brother's been getting killed too long.
Violence is never appropriate.
All right,
what is peaceful protest? When they run through the middle of a town and burn down your stores and kill people all over the place,
that is not peaceful protest.
No, it's not, but you say it is.
President Trump, I'd like to continue with the issue of race. I promise we're going to get to the issue of law and order in a moment. This month, your administration directed federal agencies to end racial sensitivity training that addresses white privilege or critical race theory. Why did you decide to do that, to end racial sensitivity training? And do you believe that there is systemic racism in this country, sir?
I ended it because it's racist. I ended it because a lot of people were complaining that they were asked to do things that were absolutely insane, that it was a radical revolution that was taking place in our military, in our schools, all over the place, and you know it, and so does everybody else. And he would know.
What is radical about racial sensitivity training?
If you were a certain person, you had no status in life. It was sort of a reversal. And if you look at the people, we were paying people hundreds of thousands of dollars to teach very bad ideas and frankly very sick ideas. And really, they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow that to happen. We have to go back to the core values of this country. They were teaching people that our country is a horrible place, it's a racist place, and they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to allow that to happen.
Vice President Biden?
Nobody's doing that. He's the racist.
You just don't know.
Here's the deal. I know a lot more about this than you do.
Let him finish.
The fact is that
Mathis.
Racial
he has no other
people
platform
have to be
but
made
saying
aware
Trump
of
is
what
racist.
other people feel like.
I haven't heard
what insults
anything
them, what is demeaning to them.
Concrete.
It's important to people
from
know
this guy
they don't want to. Many people don't want to hurt other people's feelings, but it makes a big difference. It makes a gigantic difference in the way a child is able to grow up and have a sense of self-esteem. It's a little bit like how this guy and his friends look down on so many people. They look down their nose on people like Irish Catholics like me and grew up in Scranton. They look down on people who don't have money. They look down on people who are of a different faith. They look down on people who are a different color. In fact, we're all Americans. The only way we're going to bring this country together is bring everybody together. There's nothing we cannot do if we do it together. We can take this on and we can defeat racism.
But how, Biden?
I mean, President Trump, sir.
During the Obama-Biden administration, there was tremendous division. There was hatred. You look at
a lot of cop killings.
You look at you go to many places. Look at Oakland. Look what happened in Oakland. Look what happened in Baltimore. Look what happened. Frankly, it was more violent than what I'm even seeing now. The reason is that the Democrats that run these cities don't want to talk like you about law and order.
Violent
you
crime.
Still haven't mentioned. Are you in favor of law and order?
I'm in favor of law. You follow.
Are you in favor of law and order? Go
yes,
ahead.
You asked a question. Let him finish.
Law and order.
Let him.
Law and order with justice, where people get treated fairly. And the fact of the matter is, violent crime went down 17%, 15% in our administration.
All right.
It's gone up on his watch.
Went down much more than ours.
All right, we're down. Mr. President, you're going to Mr. President,
every record in the
Mr. President, you're going to be very happy because we're now going to talk about law and order.
Places we had trouble were Democratic-run cities.
That's exactly my question. There has been a dramatic increase in homicides in America this summer particularly, and you often blame that on Democratic mayors and Democratic governors, but in fact there have been equivalent spikes in Republican-led cities like Tulsa and Fort Worth. So the question is this really a party issue?
I think it's a party issue. You can bring in a couple of examples, but if you look at Chicago, what's going on in Chicago, where 53 people were shot and 8 died shot. If you look at New York, where it's going up like nobody's ever seen anything, the numbers are going up 100, 150, 200% crime. It is crazy what's going on. And he doesn't want to say law and order because he can't, because he'll lose his radical left supporters. And once he does that, it's over with. But if he ever got to run this country and they ran it the way he would want to run it, our suburbs would be gone. By the way, our suburbs would be gone, and you would see problems like you've never seen.
He would know a suburb unless he took a wrong turn.
Oh, I know suburbs.
He would not.
So
I was raised in the suburbs. This is not 1950. All these dog whistles and racism don't work anymore.
That didn't work.
Suburbs are by and large integrated.
I don't think he meant that,
people today driving their kids to soccer practice and or to black and white and Hispanic in the same car as there have been any time in the past. What really is a threat to the suburbs and their safety is his failure to deal with COVID. They're dying in the suburbs. His failure to deal with the environment. They're being flooded.
No, they're dying in the
because
I think he's got it confused, guys. The urban
suburbs are in
and
trouble.
I do want to talk about this issue of law and order, though. And in the joint recommendation that came from the Biden-Bernie Sanders task force, you talked about, quote, reimagining policing. First of all, what does reimagining policing mean, and do you support?
It means.
Let me, if I might finish the question. What does reimagining policing mean, and do you support the Black Lives Matter call for community control of policing?
Look, what I support is the police having the opportunity to deal with the problems they face. And I'm not
answer
totally
the question, Joe.
The police officers. As a matter of fact, local police, the only one defunding, and his budget calls for a $400 million cut in local law enforcement assistance. They need more assistance. They need, when they show up for a 9/11 call, to have someone with them as a psychologist or psychiatrist to keep them from having to use force and be able to talk people down. We have to have community policing like we had before, where the officers get to know the people in the communities. That's when crime went down.
Call me up, ladies and gents. The number is 669-968-33. You want to talk about something? Hit that code 169-861-119 is on the screen at the bottom.
He has no law enforcement.
That's not true.
Almost
That's
nothing.
Look.
Oh, really? Who do you have? Name one group that supports you. Name one group that came out and supported you. Go ahead.
Look,
think. We have time.
We don't have time to do anything.
Think about it. Name one law enforcement group that came out and supported.
Gentlemen, I think I'm going to take back the moderator's role, and I want to get to another subject, which is the issue of protests in many cities.
Chris won't let him breathe,
in
guys.
Portland, Oregon, especially, we had more than 100 straight days of protests, which I think you would agree. You talk about peaceful protests. Many of those turned into riots. Mr. Vice President, you say that people who commit crimes should be held accountable. The question I have, though, is, as the Democratic nominee, and earlier tonight you said that you are the Democratic Party right now, have you ever called the Democratic mayor of Portland or the Democratic governor of Oregon and said, hey, you got to stop this, bring in the National Guard, do whatever it takes, but you stop the days and months of violence in Portland?
I don't hold public office now. I am a former vice president. I've made it clear. I've made it clear in my public statements that the violence should be prosecuted. It should be prosecuted, and anyone who commits it.
But you've never called for the people, the leader. Excuse me, sir. You have never called for the leaders in Portland and in Oregon to call it, bring in the National Guard and knock off 100 days of riots.
They can, in fact, take care of it if he just stay out of the way. Look here.
Oh, really?
Here,
oh, really?
Here's the thing.
I sent in the U.S. Marshals to get the killer of the young man in the middle of the street. They shot him, and for 3 days,
President Trump,
Portland wouldn't do anything. I had to send in the U.S. Marshals. They took care of business.
Go ahead, sir.
And by the way, you know, his own former spokesperson said,
he's diverting people.
And violence help us cause.
Biden is diverting.
That's what this is all about.
I don't know who said that.
I do.
Who?
Answer the question, Joe.
Kellyanne Conway.
I don't think she said that.
She said that. And so here's the, here's the point. The point is that that's what he keeps trying to rile everything up. He doesn't want to calm things down. What are you going to do? Instead of going in and talking to people and saying, let's get everybody together, figure out how to deal with this. What's he do? He just pours gasoline in the fire constantly, and every single solitary time.
Okay, and to end this, button up this segment, I'm going to give you a minute to answer, sir. You have repeatedly criticized.
I have to answer his statement.
No, you have repeatedly.
Wait,
you have no. You've been talking back and forth.
He made a statement.
I'm asking you.
I would love to end it.
Sir,
I would love to end it.
You know, if you want to switch seats.
We could very quickly.
We could do that, but
I'd send in the National Guard. It would be over. There'd be no problem.
Okay,
but they don't want to accept the National Guard.
You have repeatedly criticized
Chicago
the
never
vice
wanted to
president
accept it
for
either.
not specifically calling out Antifa and other left-wing extremist groups. But are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
are you
I'm
prepared to specifically
do it?
Go ahead,
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
Do you want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
white
supremacists and right
Proud Boys. Stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a
FBI director.
This is a left-wing problem.
White supremacist. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not militia. That's what his
an idea.
FBI.
Wait a minute.
FBI director said.
Antifa is an idea?
We're done, sir. We're moving on to the next. We're moving.
That's not an idea.
Everybody in your
Antifa is an organization.
Has a bad idea.
Can I tell you what?
You have no idea.
Antifa is a dangerous radical
gentlemen,
group.
we're now moving on to the Trump and Biden records.
They'll overthrow you.
When a president, I'm going to ask a question. When the president seeks a second term, it is generally a referendum on his record. But Vice President Biden, you like to quote one of your dad's sayings, which is, don't compare me to the almighty, compare me to the alternative. And in this case, sir, you are the alternative. Looking at both of your records, I'm going to ask each of you, why should voters elect you president over your opponent? In this segment, President Trump, you go first, 2 minutes.
Because there has never been an administration or president who has done more than I've done in a period of 3.5 years. And that's despite the impeachment hoax. And you saw what happened today with Hillary Clinton, where it was a whole big con job. But despite going through all of these things where I had to fight both flanks and behind me and
is a real group,
there has never been an administration that's done what I've done.
An idea.
The greatest, before COVID came in, the greatest economy in history.
Black Lives Matter is an idea too, but it's an actual group.
Everything was good. Everything was going. And by the way, there was unity going to happen. People were calling me for the first time in years. They were calling. And they were saying, it's time maybe, and then what happened? We got hit, but now we're building it back up again. A rebuilding of the military, including Space Force and all of the other things. a fixing of the VA, which was a mess under him. 308,000 people died because they didn't have proper health care. He was a mess. And we now got a 91% approval rating at the VA, our vets. We take care of our vets. But we've rebuilt our military. The job that we've done, and I'll tell you something, some people say maybe the most important. By the end of the first term, I'll have approximately 300 federal judges and Court of Appeals judges.
Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up.
Hopefully, 3 great Supreme Court judges, justices. That is a record, the likes of which very few people. And you know, one of the reasons I'll have so many judges, because President Obama and him left me 128 judges to fill. When you leave office, you don't leave any judges. That's like, you just don't do that. They left 128 openings.
They just knew,
and if I were a member of his party, because they have a little different philosophy, I'd say if you left us 128 openings, you can't be a good president. You can't be a good vice president. But I want to thank you, because it gives us almost, it'll probably be above that number by the end of this term. 300 judges. It's a record.
Looking at both your records, why should voters elect you president as opposed to President Trump? You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Under this president, we become weaker, sicker, poorer, more divided, and more violent.
More divided,
when I was vice president,
but all that
we inherited a recession. I was asked to fix it. I did. We left him a booming economy, and he caused a recession. With regard to being weaker, the fact is that I've gone head-to-head with Putin and made it clear to him we're not going to take any of his stuff. He's Putin's puppy. He still refuses to even say anything to Putin about the bounty on the heads of American soldiers.
Let's not talk about...
His son got $3 million.
And by the way, my son...
Wait a minute.
Mr.
President, your campaign agreed to both sides would get 2-minute answers uninterrupted. Well, your side agreed to it, and... why don't you observe what your campaign agreed to as a ground rule, okay, sir?
He never keeps his word.
No, I'm not asking. That was a rhetorical question.
Can you
go
add
ahead,
back
sir.
30 seconds?
Yeah, yes, you may have.
All right.
Go ahead.
So, thirdly, we're poor. The billionaires have gotten much more wealthy by a tune of over 300 to 400
Hey, but truth monster, Trump is adding even more as well. So you can't just talk about
you got less.
Joe
and Obama
than
you were before.
They all do. They all just exponentially grow the debt. So it's not just.
When we were in office, there were 15% less violence in
Obama
America than there
Joe.
is today. He's president of the United States. It's on his watch. And with regard to more divided, the nation can't stay divided. We can't be this way. And speaking of my son, the way you talk about the military, the way you talk about them being losers and being and just being suckers. My son was in Iraq. He spent a year there. He got the Bronze Star. He got the Conspicuous Service Medal. He was not a loser. He was a patriot, and the people left behind there were heroes.
Really?
And I resent.
Are you talking about Hunter? Are you talking about Hunter?
I'm talking about my son, Beau Biden. You're talking about.
You're deflecting, Joe. Let's talk about Hunter.
Out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. He wasn't dishonorably.
Cocaine use. And he didn't have a job until you
shot.
became vice president. And once you became vice president, he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
that is simply
and various
not
other places.
True.
He made a fortune.
My son.
And he didn't have a job.
My son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it, and I'm proud of him.
But why was he given tens of millions of dollars?
But he wasn't given tens of millions of dollars. That is totally,
President Trump, you've already been through.
Totally discredited.
We've already been through this. I think the American people would rather hear about more substantial.
So do I.
No, we
moderator,
don't.
Sir, I'm going to make a judgment call here.
Gets $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow.
Oh, you see that, people? You see how they don't want him to talk about Hunter?
Mitt Romney on that committee said it wasn't worth taxpayers' money. That report was written for political reasons.
You know, I'd like to talk about climate change.
So would I.
Oh, now we got to talk about climate change.
The forest fires in the West are raging now. They have burned millions of acres. They have displaced hundreds of thousands of people. When state officials there blame the fires on climate change, Mr. President, you said, I don't think the science knows. Over your 4 years, You have pulled the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accord. You have rolled back a number of Obama environmental records. What do you believe about the science of climate change, and what will you do in the next 4 years to confront it?
I want crystal clean water and air. I want beautiful, clean air. We have now the lowest carbon. If you look at our numbers right now, we are doing phenomenally. But I haven't destroyed our businesses. Our businesses aren't put out of commission.
Exactly.
If you look at
Monster.
the Paris Accord,
Hunter,
it was a
definitely
disaster
matters.
from
It's
our
straight
standpoint.
deep
And
state
people are
corruption.
actually very happy about what's going on because
And
our
not even-
businesses are doing
not
well.
even
As
to
far as the
mention
fires are concerned,
what he did in
you need
China.
forest management in addition to everything else.
All the backdoor
forest
deals in
floors
China,
are loaded
Hunter
up with
Biden
trees,
had.
dead trees that are years old,
We
and they're
can't
like
talk
tinder,
about that, though.
and leaves and everything else. You drop a cigarette in there, the whole forest burns down. You've got to have forest management.
What do you
You've got to have
believe?
cuts.
What do you believe about the science of climate change, sir?
I believe that we have to do everything we can to have immaculate air, immaculate water, and do whatever else we can that's good. You know, we're planting 1 billion trees, the Billion Tree Project. And it's very
You
exciting.
believe that human
billion
pollution,
trees.
greenhouse gas emissions contributes to the global warming of this
I think
planet?
a lot of things do, but I think to an extent, yes. I think to an extent, yes. But I also think we have to do better management of our forests. Every year, I get the call, California's burning. California's burning. If that was cleaned, if you had forest management, good forest management, you wouldn't be getting those calls. You know, in Europe, they live their forest cities. They're called forest cities. They maintain their forests. They manage their forests.
$240 million.
I was with the head of a major country. It's a forest city. He said, sir, we have trees that are far more, they ignite.
Let's get my man Adam Charles on the line. Chuck, what's going on, brother? Thanks for tuning in tonight.
Yo, Blood, how's it going, dude? Hear me okay?
Yes, sir. We can hear you loud and clear.
Yo, I'm not much of a political guy. I live in San Francisco, where everyone's extreme liberal.
Yeah,
I'm straight gray, man. Half my Facebook feed is from conservative Phoenix, Arizona. The other half is like, I think I have like at least a dozen of my Facebook friends in Antifa. And I think I have at least a dozen of my Facebook friends in a militia group. That's how down the middle I am.
No, I hear you. Yeah, I've always known that about you, Charles. Absolutely.
So, I just want to say, man, like, this shit's hilarious. This is entertaining.
It's
I've
entertainment.
never once ever cared about politics in my entire freaking life. I'm 34, gonna be 35 on Halloween, and for some reason I'm watching my first political debate. It don't matter what happens, man. Like, Trump has gotten me to care somewhat. I mean, that's crazy, right?
The car has gotten so expensive because they have
I hear you, man. So you more leaning toward Biden?
Okay. Of gasoline.
You know, man, I've always been a little left-leaning. I guess like neutral, but a little left-leaning, just because like I live in San Francisco. I got a lot of friends who are, you know, super left.
liberal.
You know what I mean? Like my apartment is in Castro, the gayest place on the planet. You know, you don't know what Castro is? Type in Castro District, San Francisco. Make sure your not safe for work filter is off, on, off. I don't know. It depends on what you're into. So I've always kind of leaned left, right? But I think I'm slowly starting to lean right a little bit because it seems to me like everyone in my city is always protesting and is always going out with signs, and the things they're protesting don't seem to make any sense. Like, it's always like, I hate Trump and not I want to help change the world a little bit. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's a phenomenon that we're seeing in this presidency. I don't think I've never seen Democrats so vile and violent in my life, to be honest with you. I think they just knew they had the race in 16 with Hillary Clinton, and that just lit a fuse under them, man. And they're really crumbling. The whole DNC to me is a crumbling organization. They're falling apart.
I tell you what, I love the
I wouldn't say all Democrats are that way, man. It's just that what's being portrayed and, you know, the violent part of it and the ignorant part of the organization is what's being shown.
thousands and thousands.
I tell you what, I do like the rioting just because I like chaos. You know, like I had probably the best day of my life was a couple weeks ago when the fires got so bad that it turned our sky in San Francisco bright orange.
I heard.
It looked like Blade Runner. I made I took some footage and made a Blade 4 Wesley Snipes movie trailer and posted on Reddit.
I have to check that out.
Here's the thing. I don't really care about politics, but I do care about people. And I've noticed that, you know, with my 4,000 or so Facebook friend, how much I have, with 2,000 of them being a stream left, 2,000 being a stream right, the left people want the right people to die, and the right people want the left people to die. And this has convinced me that both parties need to go away, man. Like there was a dude called Andrew Yang that I saw on Joe Rogan, and I looked a little bit into, and all I knew about him was that he wanted to give everyone like $1,000 a month until you died, right?
Yeah, he wanted to do a Uniswap before Uniswap.
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of cool and made sense, but the main thing about Andrew Yang that got me kind of a little bit on board, or at least proud of being in the middle. Like I've never been Democrat, never been Republican at all. But now I'm a little bit proud to be in the middle, I guess. Like, I guess that's never been something to be proud of. Was that I noticed that the people who were following Andrew Yang, you know, half of them were Republican and half of them were Democrat. And watching the people, like, in the Facebook groups about Andrew Yang or the Reddit groups about Andrew Yang or in the comments on the videos about Andrew Yang, it's the only time I've ever seen Democrats and Republicans get along without trying to kill the other side. And
Yang Gang was cool. I didn't like a few of the major points he was running on, like the whole gun reform. I wasn't with all that.
I don't actually care. What I'm trying to point I was making using as an analogy is that I think it's a good idea to get rid of both parties. So just say fuck.
Well,
fuck the right,
because both
get in the middle.
Yeah, no, I agree, but unfortunately, that'll never happen, bro. It's too deep embedded. Both of them are in bed with the corporation.
Oh yeah.
So
who you think's gonna win this election? I want you to not skate around the answer like Biden's been doing this entire debate. I want you to get into an actual
bro.
answer.
I think Trump is gonna win the night of, but I think the Democrats are gonna steal it back with the mail-in ballots, whether it was fraudulently or not. I don't know, because you gotta understand. If you look at all the ratings, and I know that stuff doesn't really matter, but you look at all that, Biden is in the lead, but we'll see how that looks after tonight. But yeah, I think mail-in ballots are going to be the deciding factor.
Goose, soy boy. Damn it, Blood, you just did exactly what I tell you not to. You scooted around the issues. Who's winning? Who's going to be president? Trump or Biden? Just say one word. All
right, man. One word.
Wait, hold on. I'll give you a countdown.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
Trump.
Okay, there we go. We got an answer. I actually agree with you a little bit, and the reason why is I do think that all the Democrats will vote for Biden and all the Republicans will vote for Trump, and I think all the people who were going to vote in the middle are just not going to vote. So it's going to happen. So the exact same thing is going to happen. It happened in 2016. There's going to be a little bit more of them.
But you don't think the Democrats are going to pull out all the guns and fraudulently set up the mail-in ballots? And they're already doing it. Like, I got an article here.
Well, here's the thing. though. So I'm just not going to comment on fraud at all. But anything can happen. But the Democrats did not want Bernie or Yang to get the nom because they weren't super left-leaning. They were kind of in the middle. They were going to change things, right? And the Democrats kind of were under the assumption that it doesn't matter who they elect. Trump is out. They could elect, you know, a freaking monkey in a tuxedo for the Democratic Party, and he'll beat Trump. So that's why they didn't do it, and I disagree with that. I think that they assume that everyone who is going to vote for Bernie and was going to vote for Yang are just going to vote for Biden, but they're not. They're not going to vote, period.
Good point.
And all those people, let's say that 50% of the people who are going to vote for Biden and Bernie go back to the Democrat side. That's still a big chunk of people who are not going to vote, period. And what we end up getting is kind of, you know, pretty much the same thing that happened in 2016. There's going to be a little bit more Republicans and Democrats because just by the nature of America, there's more of them. You know, there's way more people living in the middle on blue-collar jobs, living paycheck to paycheck, having to worry about where their, you know, their food's going to come from. They're going to be able to, you know, pay their electricity at the end of the month. And there are, you know, rich people living in cities like myself caring about the environment. I mean, poor people don't care about the environment. Someone sitting, you know, someone who works 2-3 jobs to support their family and still has to worry about whether or not they're going to be able to put food on the table at the end of the month. Doesn't give a shit. There's, you know, plastic straws in the ocean. In San Francisco, where I'm at, you know, we illegal. Plastic bag, plastic straws, it's all illegal. You don't give a shit about that.
Y'all make that illegal, but then you allow people to steal from stores and not suffer repercussions.
Hey, you know, man,
piss on streets.
Make sure they can socially distance.
With no
repercussions.
Not much you can do about that. You know, and here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying about that is a person can be wrong or evil or whatever you want to say, whatever word you want to use, but people can't be. A person can have emotions and can be called and labeled, but people, a group, a mob cannot be. You can't call a mob evil. You can't call a mob wrong. You can't call a mob right. You can't call a mob good. A mob is basically a bunch of people watching a soccer game, and then, you know, then the wrong team wins, and they all right, and they have hooligans, you know? They're smashing cars, smashing windows, stealing shit they never thought they wanted or needed, but at the end of the day, you know,
it won't happen.
Unless they're in the middle of a hooligan mob, you know, they could be, you know, teachers or, you know, nurses or whatever, you know. People are stupid. A person is smart. You know what I mean? So you can't judge people. You can only judge a person. So if it's just a person stealing and it's not something like food that they need to eat or something, if they're stealing, you know, like, I know in San Francisco, we got the damn Swatch store broken into at 12 noon on a Sunday. I don't know why people are trying to steal swatches. I don't think swatches have been relevant since, you know, the 80s, but you know what a swatch is? A swatch is like one of those digital watches that you wear on your, that you used to wear in the 90s. They came in weird colors, you know? Like, yeah. We still have a swatch store out here. What the hell am I talking about swatches for?
I don't know, man.
Well, the point is, you know, a person, okay, if one person is stealing swatches, then yeah, hey, you're what are you doing? You know, you're going to jail. But if, you know, 50 people are raiding a swatch store, then are they all bad? Or, you know, could you possibly find, you know, somebody who, you know, is like a nurse or a school teacher who volunteers to teach disabled children, you know, and they just got caught up in the moment? A person is smart. A person is accountable. People are not, you know?
Yeah.
Because then you're talking about, like, when people go to war, you know? We sent everyone to Vietnam in the 70s. They got drafted. They had no choice. Did a lot of crazy things over there. You know what I mean? I'm sure, are you going to hold every single person accountable for what went on over there? Of course not. You know, they had no choice. They were people. They were a mob. You know, a person is smart. People are not. So you can only push judgment on an individual person. You can't put judgment on people as a whole. That's kind of my say on it. But anyhow, before I go, I'm just saying, man.
It's a fraud, and it's a shame.
I think both parties are full of shit. I think we're actually getting to a point where maybe if Biden loses, people will migrate towards the middle, you know, because if Biden doesn't win now, definitely not winning next year. So maybe someone like Trump or Bernie could get into office. Maybe.
Well, I actually think Trump is more moderate and leaning toward the middle than toward the right. Maybe he's changed a little bit more lean toward the right now. But when he came in, I think he was like, you got to remember, Trump ran independent his first go around.
Yeah, he used to be Democrat, right? Back when Democrats
he used to be Democratic. He used to be Democrat, but his first run at it was independent, and he saw that he couldn't get any traction. So I think he's more leaning right now. But when he came in 2016, he was definitely more in the middle. And that's why I think that he had a lot of issues with the Republicans and for sure with the Democrats when he first got in there. I think the Republicans are kind of, he's on a better page with them nowadays. But yeah, man, we'll see, bro. I appreciate you calling in. I'll definitely have to link up with you, bro. When are you gonna be on the East Coast again, or do I have to fly all the way out to?
I got back from the East Coast. I spent 3 weeks in Miami and a week in New York. Had a great old time.
Nice.
Back in San Francisco, where every day it gets closer and closer to Armageddon. Literally Armageddon. Oh yeah, you should so that your viewers know what I'm talking about. You should share that video I posted of all the orange skies and what have you. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, send it to me, and I'll post it for sure.
All right, look at my face.
Man, good hearing from you.
We want to kill each other. I'm out.
All right,
peace. And you don't have to solicit the ballot. It's sent
all right,
to you.
Guys.
It's sent to your home.
Let's get back
what
to
we're
the
saying
debate.
is, they're saying is that it has to be a postmark by the time.
Brit VR, what's
day.
good, baby? Yes,
if
this
doesn't
debate
get in
is
till the
hilarious.
7th, 8th, 9th, it still should be counted. He's just afraid of counting the votes because
You're wrong. You're wrong.
No, I want to continue with you on
talking about the ballot.
Chris, he's so wrong when he makes a statement like that.
Excuse me. Vice President Biden, the biggest problem, in fact, over the years with mail-in voting has not been fraud historically. It has been that sizable numbers, sometimes hundreds of thousands of ballots are thrown out because they have not been properly filled out, or there is some other irregularity, or they missed the deadline. So the question I have is, are you concerned that the Supreme Court with a Justice Barrett will settle any dispute?
I'm concerned that any court would settle this because here's the deal. When you get a ballot and you fill it out, you're supposed to have an affidavit. If you didn't know, you have someone say that this is me. You should be able to, if in fact you can verify that's you before the ballot is thrown out, that's sufficient to be able to count the ballot because someone made a mistake and not dotting the correct I. Who they voted for, testify, say who they voted for, say it's you, that is totally legitimate.
All right.
Excuse me, Chris, when you have 80 million ballots,
I have a final
Senate
question.
and swamping the system, you know it can't be done. You know it can't, and already it's been fraud.
Mail service delivers 185 million
question in 8 states. We can keep talking. In 8 states, election workers are prohibited currently by law, 8 states, from even beginning to process ballots, even take them out of the envelopes and flatten them until Election Day. That means that it's likely, because there's going to be a huge increase in mail-in balloting, that we are not going to know on election night who the winner is, that it could be days, it could be weeks, until we find out who the new president is. So first for you, sir, finally for the Vice President, I hope neither of you will interrupt the other. Will you urge your supporters to stay calm during this extended period, not to engage in any civil unrest?
Bullet.
And will
there you go, John P.
that you will not declare victory until the election has been independently certified? President Trump, you go first.
I'm urging my supporters to go into the polls and watch very carefully, because that's what has to happen. I am urging them to do it. As you know, today there was a big problem. In Philadelphia, they went in to watch.
Just talked about that, guys.
Which is a very safe, very nice thing. They were thrown out. They weren't allowed to watch. You know why? Because bad things happen in Philadelphia. Bad things. And I am urging my people. I hope it's going to be a fair election. If it's a fair election, I am 100% on board. But if I see tens of thousands of ballots being manipulated, I can't go along with that. And I'll tell you what, from a common
what does that mean, Trump?
I'll tell you what it means. It means you have a fraudulent election. You're sending out 80 million ballots. They're not equipped to. These people aren't equipped to handle it.
What are you going to do, Trump?
Number two, they cheat. They cheat. Hey, they found ballots in a waste paper basket 3 days ago, and they all had the name military ballots. They were military. They all had the name Trump on them.
Vice President that's good. Vice President Biden, final question to you. Will you urge your supporters to stay calm while the vote is counted, and will you pledge not to declare victory?
I don't know, Kevin B. I mean, he didn't say it, but I think that's what he wanted to say.
Ballots, as you pointed out, some of these ballots in some states can't even be opened until Election Day. And if there's thousands of ballots, it's going to take time to do it. And by the way, our military, they've been voting by ballots since the end of the Civil War, in effect. And that's what's going to happen. Why was it not? Why is it for them somehow not fraudulent? It's the same process. It's honest. No one has established at all that there is fraud related to mail-in ballots. That somehow it's a fraudulent process.
It's already been established. Take a look at Carolyn Maloney's race.
You had an opportunity to respond.
Look at Carolyn Maloney.
Go ahead.
They have no idea what happened.
Vice President Biden, go ahead.
He has no idea what he's talking about. Here's the deal. The fact is, I will accept it, and he will too. You know why? Because once the winner is declared, after all the ballots are counted, all the votes are counted, that'll be the end of it. That'll be the end of it. And if it's me, in fact, fine. If it's not me, I'll support the outcome. And I'll be a president not just for the Democrats. I'll be a president for Democrats and Republicans. And this guy,
I want to see an honest ballot count.
Gentlemen, you say that's the end of it? This is the end of this debate?
Honest ballot count.
We're going to leave it there. To be continued in more debates as we go on. President Trump, Vice President Biden, it's been an interesting hour and a half. I want to thank you both for participating in the first of 3 debates that you have agreed to engage in. We want to thank Case Western Reserve University and the Cleveland Clinic for hosting this event. The next debate, sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debates, will be 1 week from tomorrow, October 7th, at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City. The 2 vice presidential nominees, Vice President Mike Pence and Senator Kamala
never
Harris,
going to be a blockchain vote, Dow Jones. Never going to be a blockchain vote. That's too much like right. You can't, there's no wiggle room with the blockchain vote. That's how you know this all this politics stuff is just nonsense. But that's pretty much it, ladies and gents. I actually thought Biden held up pretty well. I thought I was going to see a meltdown from Joe Biden tonight, but it didn't happen. So he didn't do as bad as I thought he would. So we'll see if how the next debate goes. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's whispering in her ear right now.
To realize this behavior is taking place in pursuit of the job we used to refer to as leader of the free world. There was an incumbent on that stage tonight, a president who passed up an opportunity more than once to unify, president who passed up an opportunity to pay even passing tribute to Joe Biden's dead son who served his country, a president who passed up an opportunity to denounce supremacy groups like the Proud Boys and their ilk, telling them instead to stand back, and added for good measure, stand by. We'll stay on this as all of the participants have cleared the stage now, including the moderator, Chris Wallace, who's been the subject of a lot of talk already tonight. It was all new territory for those who have followed the presidency just even as citizens over the course of our lifetime. President could not agree.
But Jay, Air Coins Lee, I thought he was going to do worse, bro. I'm not even going to lie. I thought he was going to do worse. My bar was set so low. I thought he was going to do way worse. He actually did not too bad, which is still horrible.
A subject he
if you know what I mean.
again and again. his opinion, his assessment of the administrative job on coronavirus was.
There you go, guys. I had fun. We'll do it again. I don't even know when the next one is, but I'll do a live stream and we can talk it out and have some fun. It's all entertainment, because I think all of you know that it doesn't matter what president is in office. You have the choice to make a change. Really, on the local, on the municipality level is where change is made. So vote there on those issues. That's where it counts most. That's where it counts most. Make sure, again, you guys like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell. You see more videos like this. I'll be back to the crypto news tomorrow. So check me out. I'm out of here. Out.
A future where the voters not a strong man who says he'll refuse to go because any election that doesn't
stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Since I was born, been stacking my coin. These niggas is pop, my money keep growing.
Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.